It's DJ W, you dig? You're tuned in to KOOL Radio, your number one station for the truth about what's happening in the way out wasteland. But enough of my spouting. Let's warm up with some new hot licks.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Saturday here on PodbyNight, where we definitely don't talk shit in the green room, and our shows are 100% pure on a rated R level.
Yep.
Today we're bringing you Fallout. We hope that you've had a chance to watch the new show, because I don't know about you, but
Only 3 episodes
I want to inhale it like Jet, y'all.
I finished it, yeah. It was quite good.
I finished it twice through since Wednesday, Tracy.
Oh my god!
Wow.
What? Holy shit!
I finished it. It's okay. Don't tell anybody that, y'all. It's private information for the internet. So, we're back. Last week, some things went down, and I'm gonna do a minor recap. Remember, this is only a 2-part little mini campaign, mini-sodes that we're running here. If you enjoy it, drop over by the Discord and come tell us about it. We want to hear what you got to say. More importantly, we want to give a huge shout out to all the people that support us here, including our Patreon that makes PodbyNight possible, including our other vampire podcast, Cracked Crown. And let us not forget that you can support this cast by tipping. I don't have a Saito planned for today, but I can promise other corruption level events that could potentially occur. So fill that bar. I guess there's not really a bar on screen. Put your money in the invisible pot, and we'll make it bad for the lovely faces you see on the screen before you today. Did I shill everything? Other than that, I have decided that the Glow Must Flow is coming to PodbyNight merch near you very soon.
Love it.
That'll be another way to support this cast. I hope to have that up ASAP. It's another way to tell us that you like the show. Wear the t-shirt. They say it works. And convert yourself to the Children of Adam today. That being said, let's recap here. Let's go back through. We have everybody we had with us last week. We'll do outros at the end so you can find out where you can find these people. I know we're missing one of our lovely crew today. Maggie is familying, which is important because, you know what? There's not a lot of family left in this wasteland of a world. So we wanted Maggie to go be with family. And I have the perfect little side thing that Kalita is busy doing. So last week we met our intrepid survivors. I'm gonna call y'all survivors because you're not really adventurers in any way. A ragtag crew who was traveling with a caravan of people seeking refuge in Diamond City, at the center kind of the Commonwealth, which is what is left of old world Boston. Now 200 plus years in the future, after some nuclear bombs have affected, I don't know, everything from wildlife to creatures and people. The Commonwealth has found itself in the middle of a atomic winter. A storm blew in a few weeks back, and it has devastated everything, including these people who now seek a warm bed and hopefully a warm meal. Upon arrival, they found that that was not the case. And the Sister Delilah, driven by a radio broadcast that she heard, made some decisions while in town. And I feel it would be important for me to actually play that broadcast. So, let me pop over to the right screen. Hold tight, everybody.
Many groups, organizations, and factions claim to protect the people of the Commonwealth, but their true mission is to exhort and enforce their will. You know them by their weapons, violence, and and inequitable leadership. They have rendered the masses blind, holding hostage your futures and delaying your deliverances. To those who would protect these wicked people, know that their disastrous practices are not Atom's will. He warns against their self-serving heresy. I am the last son of Atom, and I have foreseen the end of their reign. Their greed will divide them until they devour each other, and the good people of the Commonwealth make this land free from tyranny once more. I call upon you to join me in protecting the vulnerable and speaking truth to power. Even if you have spilled blood in service to these vile factions infecting the Commonwealth, the Church of Atom welcomes you with open arms. For it is only Atom who can provide for all his children, even in the coldest of winters. It is only Atom's chosen who can walk infinite, perfect worlds of blue skies and endless food when the day of division arrives at last. Those who embrace the warmth of Atom's glow know eternity and division. Those who take advantage of the vulnerable will only know Atom's divine judgment.
Well, there you have it. The last son of Adam was interested in converting all of you. I hope his propaganda, along with the propaganda found inside of Diamond City, wooed you, because it wooed Sister Delilah into making some decisions. Instead of doing what was asked of them by the Diamond City mayor, they finagled him into a free night of stay in Diamond City, amongst all the other plebeians. And Sister Delilah could not sleep with the sound of a water jet. One that isn't just specifically pumping water, but purifying. Amongst some snooping, some fighting in the bar, some distaste amongst factions, and one very wet card game. They found themselves at the end of the night, where Sister Delilah made a choice. A choice to blow up Diamond City's water purifier, assuring that the glow can flow to all the residents of Diamond City through this horrible, harsh winter. And that led to, well, the next morning, where the night is actually filled with people converting themselves, giving themselves over in the chapel next door to the Dugout Inn, which now has open rooms, which you were all given freely for assuring that the Minutemen started a fight. They have been kicked out. The first time ever the Minutemen have never been allowed in Diamond City, as they have in fact been the saviors in the past. But today, this is a holy city. And it is claimed so by all of the followers. And you wake up the next morning. Some people sleep off the probably celebratory drugs in their body. The new radiation flowing through the water was the drink of the night. Imagine there's a lot of radiation sickness, maybe some vomiting. And as you come downstairs, all of you, to the Dugout Inn to reconvene, you do not see Kalita. Nor smell wet dog.
That's not.
I'll ask around and see if bartenders saw her leave.
Vadim's up real early. He looks real rough. He clearly states to all of you that they don't do breakfast. You can go get noodles. But Vadim says, she left early with dog outdoor. Now fuck off. He says as he kind of hobbles to the back to probably make some version of coffee.
She just decided to get out of here, which honestly, smart.
Seems the path of the wasteland's decay has taken her. May we only pray that Adam guides her path and she does not freeze in the frozen winters, as I know she had her own journey to find her husband, it seems. We all have our own paths to follow.
I'm sorry, chat just broke me. Yeah. We're getting spirituality for breakfast, everybody.
Yeah.
Grant's probably still sleeping.
Yeah. Okay. Grant's still sleeping. And you know what? You probably all didn't know because you had to share rooms. There were only 3 rooms open. Kalita and you probably bunked together in like one of the 2 bunk rooms, and you didn't even hear Kalita leave because Grant hasn't even stirred.
He slept through everything. Honestly.
I snore.
The explosion.
And you still
why-
hear
but that's-
Grant snoring.
But that's why Mason's like a great best friend. He doesn't care if I snore. He's a robot.
Yeah. Would Mason have seen Kalita leave?
Would you have just stayed up, or did you like power down for the evening? Did you plug it or would you have just stayed up?
I think he would have just stayed away.
Then I would say yes. Would you have intervened on her way out, or would you just have watched her leave?
I don't think so. I think Mason may have some introspection and reflection as to the events that occurred last night and probably would not follow someone else out, especially if they are going to potentially break the law in ways that could harm the masses.
Well, since you are not Savoy today, the mask is put away in its secret pocket, or drawer, I guess I should say. You did see her leave at the lead of Dogmeat. It seemed like you had been traveling with her and Dogmeat for almost 2 weeks, 9 days or so, and you know when he picks up the scent, what it looks like when that dog picks up the scent of her husband. And it seemed that they left in quite a hurry. She was trying to track the dog, and she left with all of her gear. So it seems that maybe he picked up on a scent in the middle of the night, which seems odd. Which seems odd. Let's see.
Sure.
Yeah. But you did see her go. She was not in distress. I imagine there was even like a minor look back as to whether or not she should stay.
Okay.
Before she decided that she had to Dogmeat left without her, and you either track him or you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think if Mason can overhear people beginning to rouse, then he would probably wake Grant, despite his snoring and the comfortable pairing that he has with that pillow, maybe mattress, unsure at this point, but Grant will probably wake to
Grant? Grant?
No.
Good morning, Wastelander.
We're in a hotel. Can we just sleep a little late, please?
No
We never get to
sleeping
sleep in like a nice bed like this.
No sleeping in. The others are awake and alert now. It's time to move.
Where are we
Wake
going?
yourself up. It's time
I'm
to
wake-
tidy yourself up so that you can feel like a million caps.
Where are we going?
I don't know. I believe the others are tending to breakfast.
Well, I should have said breakfast first. All right. And he just like stretches and pops himself up, throws on the same clothes he wears almost every single day, and strides out, scratching his ass.
There is no breakfast to be found. Only the preachings of Sister Delilah.
Mason would probably stick around to like remake the bed tidily so and be as useful as he can, since clearly Grant doesn't need a haircut.
I just look around. The fuck? Mason, where's the food?
What? Grant? I don't know. I don't eat.
Usually church things have like buffets. Maybe if I'll stride down there and I'll just start poking around like behind
You see
people to see
Vadim
if
in the
anything-
kitchen pouring, like kind of hunched over. He's in what would be considered his undergarment that he probably wears over the suit or whatever he tends to daily. And he's kind of standing there in basically his PJs pouring a cup of coffee.
I will flag him down, walk up like, one more.
No breakfast.
I just want a coffee.
No more coffee?
Is he clearly lying to me? Is
He's
like a coffee
kind of
left in his
pouring,
pot?
and you know what? You're unsure if it's going to get to the bottom and actually fill this cup, if there would be any left. And he does. He has to leave room for whatever horrible excuse of sugar creamer, is out there. And there's like the scomblies, the bottom of the barrel of the coffee pot, in this like metal tin, and you can kind of shake it and hear it. And he pours it into another cup, and it's like this much coffee.
Fuck it. I'm a ghoul, man. I lived in these times. I'll fucking take that thing like a shot. Do not care.
Yeah, okay, yeah, and you shoot down, and it is hot coffee. It is not the coffee that we know today. It's instant in some way, and it probably is more akin to like it's a coffee alternative, so it's like a black tar. They probably make it out of some really rough stuff. There is no creamer or sugar. It is black, and you shoot it, and it's not
Gross.
like it's not like good drugs, but it definitely wakes you up.
Thank you so much. All right, I'll take that one on the house. All right, have a good day. Then I turn around and I start.
He pours some kind of clumpy milk alternative into
What?
the coffee. Into the coffee mug, and like you hear him sip as he walks. You kind of walk away, and you hear his feet kind of shuffle as he goes to prepare for the day. Get things ready before this place actually technically opens. And
I'll sidle up to like one of the people preaching on the outskirts. Just lean in. Hey, where like the muffins and stuff? Or like, should I say rat roach? Where
the only people in the dugout in right now. Actually, that's not true. Two children of Adam, not three, come from the other side of the bar where they were originally staying. And they're Sans, one of their members, because they were shot by the Minutemen.
Yep.
You would have learned that last night. That they died in this pilgrimage.
Good for them.
That's right. And they come wandering down, and they greet Sister Delilah and none of the rest of you. Good morning, Sister Delilah.
Good morning.
And they kind of nod, knowing that the festivities will continue outside. And the chapel is just next door, so that's probably where they're headed. They want radiation for breakfast.
My favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I want to head over to the church.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I wanna see what's going on over there.
What about the rest of you? What is Mortimer up to? You're just kind of witnessing this. It is like religion washed over this city overnight.
The great revival.
Yeah, I think I'm just huddled in the corner as everyone gets their stuff ready. I've probably found myself a mug of some weak beer because I'm definitely not drinking anything that has water in it now.
Yeah.
And I'm just sort of despairing at the state of things and trying to work out how to escape.
The great awakening is here.
Oh God. How are we supposed to be leaving this godforsaken place now?
We should be. I would like to say some prayers at the church before we head out.
You guys got like a free breakfast buffet over there.
If you say some nice words about Adam, maybe.
Are you lying to me right now? You want to make a roll for that?
No, Delilah wouldn't lie like that. She's sincere. I do not know what rations are at the church.
You don't?
I don't know, they're probably sucking on a piece of nuclear glass for breakfast or something.
Well, that shit tastes, doesn't sound so good, but it doesn't do me any harm.
It's true, I guess. My breakfast is about 15 miles that way in an overturned train car, so.
Yes.
Lest you not forget.
I'll go with you. And I point to Sister Delilah, and I will saddle up next to her.
Okay. So you're going to hang out here, Mortimer?
I think so for now. I might think of something that I want to do. Oh God, I don't know if I want to go in there.
We can make a stop, say a few prayers, and then head out.
I down the rest of my drink and say, fuck it, and I get up and follow them, because know your enemy.
How do you get anything done with how much fucking praying you do all the time?
Prayer is what keeps us going.
Pretty sure it was the gun you put to the water purifier that kind of kept us going.
Good morning, Delilah. Mortimer, how are you, Wastelanders?
Good
Could
morning.
be better, but that's normal.
You play cops and robbers last night, buddy?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course not.
Yes,
of course not.
I did see Mason last night.
You saw no such thing.
Oh,
Mason stayed in the tent.
forgive me. Savoy.
Gentleman thief. He's around.
Yeah, that's the game I'm talking about.
You know of this alter ego that Mason carries with him, Grant?
Not really. I don't follow him around. He just likes to go playing games by himself. Figure maybe he's just like... Back in the olden times, a kid got a hold of him, started like poking at his circuitry, played a lot of pretend. Now he just goes around pretending to be a thief with no cop chasing him. It's kind of sad now that I think about it.
I'm still here.
Oh, yep, you're still here.
Haven't floated on.
Nope, definitely. What are you
I
talking
think
about?
it's bizarre that you choose to speak of me as if I'm not here.
Oh, sorry. I forget sometimes that you're loudly floating within inches of me at any given opportunity.
How could you forget? You prominently declared that it was one of your favorite things.
My ears, they're not what they used to be. They keep losing more flesh every day. All right, well, let's go to this damn church before he keeps asking weird questions.
As you step out of the dugout, you take that light flight of stairs from what would have been the dugout out to the main street, and you can hear people in town kind of chanting and praying. You can also see people leaving. You can see a few people packing shit and getting the fuck out of Diamond City.
Okay.
Maybe you don't see it that way, Delilah. Maybe they're taking their pilgrimage.
Perhaps.
I think, like, after the
In
three
a
of them
hurry.
like file, after these three like psychopaths file out of the dugout, I'm just like, I'm gonna die, and then I follow them.
Yeah, and you kind of follow
Hey.
behind, and maybe that's really what you see, Mortimer. The people that are actually now fleeing, maybe to go out front to join those people, but they are choosing not to stay. And it's not a far walk. It is literally almost next door. It's called the All Faiths Chapel. The All Faiths Chapel. And you can see that there is a very charismatic man, child of Adam. You can tell by the robes at the door. And he's greeting people as citizens of Diamond City are coming in. And standing across from him is actually Shoeshine Parker, the same woman you met at the Dugout Inn who was kind of leading the antagonistic fights between them and the Minutemen. And she is across from him kind of handing out pamphlets to every person that walks through the door. They're on kind of either side. And Shoeshine Parker sees you, Delilah. And she reaches across and kind of touches Brother Bennett and points you out. And this big smile crosses this man's face. He is missing some teeth, but, you know.
I would head up to them, to Sister Parker, and greet her. Sister Parker.
Sister Delilah.
It is good to see you on this radiating morning.
It is a perfect radiation morning, filled with Adam's glow thanks to your actions last night. Let me introduce you to Brother Bennett. And she points to this man. He takes your hand in his hand, you know, like cupping it, and he puts his other hand on top and he says, "It is a pleasure to meet you, Sister Delilah. It always fills my body, not as much as Adam's glow, but almost, to meet dedicated followers of the children of Adam."
Yes, and it brings me joy to see a revival, an awakening.
Something that would
in
never have
Diamond City.
happened without your devotion. Tell me, who is in tow with you this morning? New followers, I hope?
Yes, they are.
And we turn around to Mortimer, Mason, and Grant, and he smiles and he says, "Well, all are welcome in Adam's house." And you actually hear from the doorway, because the door's standing open as people are coming and going, another man's voice. And he says, "This is not Adam's house. It is an All Faiths house."
I think
What
it's
other
Diamond
faiths-
City, actually.
What other faiths are there?
And
Yeah.
Brother Bennett said, "Oh, that's what I meant. Of course, Pastor Clemps. Please prepare the altar for this morning's sermon." And you kind of hear grumbles from Pastor Clemps as he shuffles back in the doorway. And Brother Bennett turns back, again, perfect smile, and he says, "Tell me, have you heard the good word of Adam's glow?"
Yeah, you let it flow, right?
"We do let it flow." What a wonderful tagline. Write that down. Sister Shoeshine Parker is immediately like, trying to find something to write on or to
Yeah.
bank that information.
Well, yeah, and it's also got like a nice warming embrace when it hits you.
Much like Adam's glow. And he looks you up and down and he sees, "I see that you have experienced much of it."
That's me, baby.
He-
I get something for it, or am I just like,
Well, receiving Adam's glow is your gift for your
I wouldn't
undying
call
devotion.
the day I remember seeing countless explosions in the distance is a really good day.
He goes, wait, you were there? Before
Yeah,
the
I was
bombs
working-
fell? And you can hear people. He says, you
Was-
basked in the original glow of
Grant-
Adam, his
Grant-
great creation. He says,
Grant
this
notices
man is a
people-
disciple for Adam himself.
Oh,
He says,
no.
please let this ghoul in and his friends. Can we offer you food?
Please, I would love something to eat. You know, I always said you guys were really, really cool.
He says,
And,
tell me, what is it like to stand at the foot of such a dividing experience?
I imagine he's walking like to the church.
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever
he's
when
walking
asking
you
us.
in.
So, yeah.
People are now seeing all of you. Mason and Mortimer, you're welcome to follow in tow. Sister Delilah, much like a secretary, will almost follow behind you to kind of herd you in. And you walk down what you would imagine is a very basic chapel. It is built into the ballpark, of course, so it's repurposed, but they have done the best that they can. And you can see that it is meant to be an all faiths chapel. But the altar has been taken over by symbols of the children of Adam. And in the middle, there's something missing. All altars kind of have the big central focal point, and it doesn't seem to be there. As if maybe it hasn't been created or made, or maybe it was stolen. You don't know, but it's missing something, one might say.
I would have Grant go off on an elaborate speech of nonsense, essentially, to explain what it was like. I mean, he'd just elaborate extremely. I don't know if you want me to make like a speech check for it.
You're welcome to make a speech check to see, because he doesn't know. He doesn't know what it was He has just exposed to basic radiation, not Adam's glow. You know what I'm saying? First 10 minutes of the Fallout television show.
Oh, bomb. If I luck point, it's 1 reroll for 1
It
dice?
is 1d20 of 1d20.
Yeah. How do I do that? Do I just roll a flat d20?
Yeah, just roll a flat
yeah.
d20. You can do the custom roll at the top of the sheet.
Nope.
Did we get our luck back from the last session, or are we?
You do
Luck?
not
Keeping-
get your
Yeah,
luck
it's
back.
per quest.
Yes,
success,
and
right?
you haven't technically done the train job. So you have not.
Well,
you will
my
not.
story is probably like I'm like jumping time around a lot. I'm like going back. I probably tangent off times of like what it was like to work as a chef at the time. Like I completely start
Yeah.
going off the topic of what it was like when the bombs dropped, and I just start talking about what it was like to live.
He's
back
a bit
then instead.
suspicious of your salesman ways, because he himself is a salesman. So
Yeah.
he might see through it just a smidge. But
Grant-
he
Grant
also
is from before the bombs dropped. He
but
is from that time. but
exactly.
yeah.
So there's not lies necessarily here. He's just trying to parse out what is like real truth, what is the
Yeah.
timeline, and more importantly, he has no frame of reference. He was not there.
Exactly.
So he has to believe some portion of it because what does he know between
I'm actually, like,
fantasy and reality?
As I go off on tangents, if Grant ever notices they start losing interest, I bring up the bombs just enough time to get their attention back before I go back to telling the story I was telling, like completely averting the actual point.
And as you basically distracted him. He's listening and nodding, and he
Yeah.
brings you all up near the altar. And you can see there are the usual symbols. The atom symbol has been made into a 3-dimensional piece out of junk that matches the patch that Delilah wears on her cloak. A lot of people actually are maybe stitching that on or adding it to their stuff. There's a couple of those kind of things, but that central thing is still missing. And Sister Shoeshine Parker stands by quietly.
I think at this point, Mason probably looks over to Mortimer, who has been equally as quiet. And like, despite his ocular vision and his ability to see everywhere, he turns so that the handlebar mustaches are actually pointing at Mortimer.
It's very kind.
And he looks at Mortimer and he's like,
You feel rather uncomfortable in this situation, Mortimer. I can tell.
Well, don't vocalize it. We
No,
got in here.
It's fine. On
They're gonna
Grant's
feed
assisted
us.
endeavors, we too will find our ways through this particular space. He's as cool as a Nuka-Cola in the wasteland. His charm spreads faster than a rat roach infestation.
Remember, it doesn't Grant wants. I just want Grant to shout. He can't whisper.
And it is loud, but there's chatter amongst
Yeah,
the
no,
church. The sermon has not started. And as you're maybe finishing your flourishes, you've distracted him for quite a while. Sister Delilah's like maybe listening in. In walks the mayor down the central aisle. and he's kind of winded. He's like, and a couple people are like, oh, that's the mayor. There's kind of some whispering, and he runs up to Mortimer, the most qualified to receive this information. I think it's the best way to put that. And he goes, I'm so glad I found you all. I have your supplies and stuff. You're good. We're in the train.
Yes, the train job.
The food. You're gonna go get the food. And he kind of straightens his tie, realizing that people are now kind of looking around. And Brother Bennett comes over and he says, Mayor, I see that you have found our newest disciples. And he kind of winks at Grant.
Out of curiosity, from my rumor mongering from the first episode, were people missing? Like Grant wanted to know if like people at the front gate had dispersed because I told people.
You haven't been out the front gate yet. You don't know.
Fair enough. I can't see it from there.
You don't know. Problem. Plus, you did see people leaving, so it's like a mixture of people, but you don't know yet.
Yeah. No, but he looks at me. I just kind of throw my hands in. Yep, that's me. Newest disciple of religion. Always did.
Specifically the children of Adam and our preachings, Mayor. And you can see that part of that is to maybe because he has not convinced the mayor yet. The mayor doesn't don that tie. And he says, of course, Brother Bennett, in fact, your new disciples are helping us get food for the city. They're going to go recover what's left of the train incident from yesterday. And Brother Bennett smiles and he says, wonderful. The church will be assuring all that food is secure and passed out equally amongst the citizens of Diamond City. I will take from anybody really listening. You can make some kind of insight check on this fellow. Let's do, even to read it is speech charisma. So anybody that wants to make a speech charisma is welcome to.
To do what's it to
try
insight?
It's to insight this conversation and how real and honest he's being. No, with a little bit of a complication, a critical success with a complication. So
yeah,
okay. It is very clear to you that he should not be handling the food for the city. But it is Shoeshine Parker who you insight on her look when he says equally amongst the people of Diamond City. It is like she smelled a bad fart. You can see the distaste, the nose crinkle at the idea of sharing, as if she has some certain views or either comes from a certain side of, one might say, the stands of Diamond City.
Interesting.
She might have been an original Diamond City resident, and definitely, based on her clothing, she ain't poor. She is not part of it. She does not sleep on that wet ground near the waterfront.
So Mason's, clean this up for Mason's perception. How would Mason perceive? Would he assume that she may be in cahoots with like sabotage of the food, or maybe she doesn't care? Like, how would Mason perceive that?
Since you get a complication, I'll give you this piece too. He doesn't plan to share it equally.
Interesting. Okay. I think
she should have kept the ruse up that's the plan. But
gotcha. Okay.
She didn't do a very good job. The complication is you realize neither did he, because you see through it. And Grant, maybe, I don't know how you read Mason's facial expressions. Maybe it's just the twitch of the eye or the weird off buzzing of a blade. But you and Mason are usually on the same track. It's why you hang out together. And you two kind of get the idea that they're not being, it is weird that he wants to control the food source.
I think Mason would probably approach Grant.
Grant, please reach into my rear compartment.
That is a request I don't get asked enough. I will turn around and reach into your rear compartment. Fiddling around.
Yeah, what does he find in your rear compartment?
Yeah, it's the mask that he wears.
Please place it on my face.
Okay. How do you do this without me?
Just do it.
Sorry. And Grant just kind of rolls it off, and he kind of stretches
and
the string.
I imagine he kind of lowers himself down, and you have to get really
Yeah.
wide around it. And it's kind of like trying to put a bracelet on by yourself for like a second, you know,
Yeah.
even though you have both hands. But you eventually do get it around, and it is perfectly fitted for his rotund body.
Even if he doesn't get it all the way on, like the moment that he feels it slip below the newsy cap, but not below the mustache, he probably begins.
God.
He's whispering, Grant.
Oh, good
Shoeshine's
Lord.
not being honest with us. She's lying.
I'm just like, that was like Batman asking a civilian to put on the cowl, dude.
You're smart enough. You don't need old Savoy to help you here.
And Shoeshine is the mayor? I'm sorry.
No,
or,
Shoeshine is the woman that is kind of maybe a local representative of the group that was in the dugout in that was causing some of the rift. Yeah,
Got you.
That's her.
Not the child of Adam either. Then
she is a child of Adam.
Oh,
Very much
that's
so.
fair. Got you.
It's just she's probably a convert.
Yep. That could mean one of a couple things. What are we gonna do about it? Can we call her out? I'll call her out.
Great question. The power of Purloin will not assist us here, though.
Well, she's one of them. I mean, we've been hanging out with Sister Delilah for like total 48 hours. I mean, like a total of like a week or so, or whatever it's been at this point.
Which begs the question. This son of Adam, he must have found himself in a significant amount of copulation with how many children he has.
Right. I think you're following the wrong trail on this one, but I'm eager to hear where you're going.
I'm interested in unlocking this case.
I think it's not that complicated. They're probably gonna just radiate the food.
Oh. Not the direction I thought that was going.
Again, we've been with Sister Delilah for a while now. Have you not heard the damn thing she's been preaching about? It's like obnoxious.
She's a broken record.
Right. So Occam's razor, simplest answer.
Absolute lunatic.
Correct. Bingo.
All
We
right.
have a winner. Tic-tac-toe. Tic-tac-toe. What was that? I remember a quote like that from someone.
3 in a row.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't. It doesn't matter. The Purloin. Savoy doesn't care. Remove my mask now. I must return to the facade.
Oh,
And
yeah,
as
nobody will know.
you start to undo his mask,
Yeah.
we cut back to the side conversation, the other conversation that both of you pulled away from. And the mayor and Brother Bennett are deep in conversation with Mortimer and Delilah regarding the train job and the kind of odd feeling that's in the air between these two leaders of this community, especially now that things have shifted so quickly overnight. It's a little bit of maybe a political upheaval that hasn't escalated publicly yet. And the mayor said, of course, Brother Bennett, we would love for the church to provide charity and pass out food to the needy, but the food will remain in our food stores as always. And Brother Bennett says, oh, of course, we would never try to take food from the stores of Diamond City, and kind of twist the words constantly, Mortimer. Delilah, he's perfect. He's perfect. He's everything that a child of Adam should be. Humble and charismatic, and very clearly based on the certain areas of the skin showing excessive radiation damage. I would not say ghoul by any means, but some people don't turn into a ghoul. Their skin just rots away and their liver dies. So, he's probably on that path. He's even got that really beautiful yellowy jaundice color to his skin. Almost like
Damn right,
gold.
I'm perfect looking.
And then the Brother Bennett turns to Sister Light and says, it sure would be just a really wonderful thing for you to assure this food makes it back so that the children of Adam can provide for all of our new followers. And he gestures to a very full chapel, standing room only. He says, but as much as I'd like to continue this conversation, it seems that the mayor needs your help, and I have a sermon to tend to.
Wait, are they all children of Adam?
Tracy, you're muted.
Oh, oopsie.
No, there you are. There you are.
Of course.
Your father did not understand the art of contraception?
It is not like that, dear Mason. We are all embraced after consuming the light of Adam, the waters. It changes you, and then you become a child. You yourself, well, I don't know about you, but
Don't you dare
Mortimer,
exclude me.
Mortimer is a lost child, soon to be found.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of, that's kind of bullshit, though.
He says,
You don't-
Sister Delilah is right. All children are lost before they are found by Adam's glow.
Right. Like, you're probably going to die before you turn into what happened to me. Not everybody.
Just
It
think,
is
our friend here, Mason, you said your name was?
Mason, yes?
Mason, what are you powered by?
At this point, I believe it is hopes and dreams, but most likely it's nuclear.
Correct. Your nuclear power assures that you can continue to serve for 200 or more years?
Classic elephant's foot keeping me moving.
This small thing that keeps you powered is only a minuscule part of what Adam offers, and it keeps you going. Can you imagine what it does for his children? We are all lost in the wasteland, and it is our job to assure that those lost souls are found and given to Adam's glow so that they can know what we know.
That wasn't Adam that made me, though. It was General Atomics International.
Your power. Yes, we will see
Where
you
did
after
it
the
start?
sermon.
We will not debate where it all stemmed from. The one atom, every atom that divides and splits creates more.
But wouldn't you argue that that atom is no longer existing since he split so many times?
Potentially. But every split is a new universe, great creation at the core of what Adam stands for. You become
It's
your
probably like
own maker.
There's a part of him in all of us or something like that, I imagine.
This is
If I
true.
had a mouth, I wouldn't drink
There
this
you go.
Kool-Aid.
And he says, well, do not worry. We do not serve Kool-Aid, though we do have the freshest radioactive water in all of the wasteland. Thanks to, of course, Sister Delilah. Thank you again. And he kind of greets you. There's no, kiss on the cheek. It seems that this hand thing they do is pretty
And
much their thing.
Grant looks over to Mason and be like,
Before-
it's not that hard to figure out. You see what I mean?
Before we leave, Delilah will
They
take
are rather simple, yes.
a drink.
Oh, there is a rather nice bowl. In fact, Delilah, if you were interested, because you come from the wasteland as well, but far from here, there is no civilization. You could make a intelligence survival check. I know that's kind of weird. It'll be a custom roll, but
Yes.
I will let you make it on an intelligence check.
2d20. Intelligence and survival.
Yeah, or repair, whichever is better for you.
Oof. 4
Nope, I'll
successes.
take 4 successes. Delilah, as you reach
Whoa.
up, the bowl that sits on the front edge of the altar, which is meant for washing hands and drinking and worshiping and all that stuff, when you walk up, this bowl is new. And I don't mean cleaned from 200 years ago new. I mean new. This is new. This is newly made.
Fascinating.
You don't see things like this very often, and it's extraordinary. It's beautifully painted in a color on the inside, the outside another color. You don't know what it's actually made of, but it has no nicks or dings. And the bowl it's made of a natural material of some kind. It's not even metal, which means it's been cast in some way, or, I mean, I don't even know that Sister Delilah knows how anything's made when it comes to clay, pottery, or ceramics, or any of that. But this bowl is probably the first new thing you've ever seen.
Wow. I think it might she might think it's even more anointed in some way just because it's
It's
so
holy just to
unnatural.
put your hands in it, and unnatural, and it's so beautiful on this altar of these statues and these icons made of junk. And you drink this irradiated water, which doesn't affect you in any way because you are a child of Adam, and part of your origin means that you can drink radiation.
Let us bathe in his purifying light and
If-
feel the power.
If you were thirsty in any way, you can get rid of all your thirst.
Oh yeah. Let's go. See, guys? Become a follower of Adam.
And
A
as you turn
child.
around, this irradiated water probably dribbles from her lips or her chin where she's been drinking. And Delilah looks refreshed.
Well, I'm immune, so I'd be dumb not to. I
Embrace the
drink.
glow and be born anew.
Grant,
Yeah. Or die.
would you like to make the same check, survival intelligence?
Yeah, sure.
Or you can make a repair intelligence as you walk up to the bowl, see if you learn something different.
No, we'll do survival intelligence.
Coats.
Oh, did I? Hang on, I didn't do that right. I did endurance.
Oh,
Much like
Did get a
hairstyles, they come
success.
in all shapes and sizes.
Hang on,
I
I'm
suppose
redoing
they
it.
serve a purpose for those who find solace in them.
Intelligence, survival. There we go. No.
well, as you walk up, it doesn't much matter to you. You drink it. It is irradiated water. There's nothing special about this water. It is refreshing. You too can quench a bar of thirst. And since you're a ghoul, radiation doesn't affect you, so you just slurp down, probably not as polite at the altar as Delilah did. No. I imagine there's a lot of slurping. It goes
through like through cracks in my hand and stuff, and it goes down like my missing lip.
Dribble water, yeah.
Fuck,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
You know what? And I was like, I should just lower my head down and just drink it. With
and you
mouth
drink out of it like a trough, and it's a big bowl, like a big bowl. So you can do that.
Up to it.
And Brother Bennett, Shoeshine Parker's not as good as hiding her feelings. She looks devastated. Blasphemy at the altar. Brother Bennett says, I see our disciple is all but bathing himself in Adam's glow. He tries to always turn everything into a positive, right? He's a cult leader.
Like the nephew Adam.
Yeah, exactly. And he says, be safe on your travels, and we will see you all when you return.
Let us continue on the path then, where the wasteland guides us.
Oh, and the mayor says, good, come on. And he kind of quickly tries to lead y'all out of this fucking chapel, and back onto the streets. And people are trying to get in the chapel. There's a little bit of a line because it's at standing room only, and they've decided to leave the door open. And he begins the sermon in the background. You can hear him preaching with a boisterous voice, full of what we would consider sunshine. It's welcoming and warm, and his charisma oozes out of the door. As his voice trails off in the background, and the mayor leads you to the gates. There is a pile of supplies, just some basic rations. If y'all needed ammo for your weaponry, he would have given you some ammo. You know, the general stuff. And he says, oh, and he kind of pats his suit down, and he reaches in the pocket, and he pulls out a very small slip of paper that has coordinates on it. And he says, right. You don't have your Pip-Boy anymore. And he kind of looks around like, where's Kalita?
Oh, yeah. The one with the Pip-Boy vanished into the night. Very mysterious, like.
He says, well, then I shall give you old directions, shall I? And he says,
it'll work for me.
And I'll pull. Yeah, I was about to say, he'll give them to Mortimer because he knows Mortimer clearly can do the whole Commonwealth map thing. And he says, well, as you come out of Diamond City, you'll find the main road, and you will come to the train tracks. You probably crossed them coming this way with the caravan. Follow them north, and I imagine you can't miss it. The security guard keeps talking about the radio tower nearby. And he says, good luck. We'll see you when you get back. Don't mess up, okay? We really could use this food. And you can see now as the elevator raises you up to take the stairs that go down across the wall past security, that overnight, what some would consider maybe a small shanty town has started to pop up. Structures aren't really in place yet, but people are claiming space. This is a camp out to get into Diamond City at this point. People have nowhere else to go, especially nowhere around here. And small fires are trying to keep people warm. People have scavenged for some blankets and stuff, and kind of groups of people are just making little encampments out front. I would say, based on the question you wanted answered, Mathas,
Yeah.
Grant does notice that there are somewhat less people.
That's all I wanted to know.
Whether or not they left because of the events of last night, or it was just too cold, or they sought something else, but there are less people than were here yesterday.
Works for me.
Can I spot my guys in here?
You mean the Minutemen?
No, actually, I meant the people I'm responsible
yes,
for,
your
but
caravan.
the Minutemen too, if they're
Yes,
around.
your
Sure.
caravan has not left. They have kind of set up the wagon, the hand cart that was being pulled with the group has kind of been broken down and is being repurposed, and they have made like their own little camp. Very quaint, but a camp.
I'm gonna pop over to those guys.
Mm-hmm. The gentleman who was kind of in charge runs over and he says, "It is so good to see you." He says, "Well, how can we get in today?"
Good news and bad news.
Oh.
The good news is that I've got to head out and do a mission. Should take a day. If I don't die, then I'll get you in. They'll open the gates and there'll be food. Bad news. The whole place has been taken over by the Sons of Atom, so it's a city full of Delilahs. But it's a city full of Delilahs with food.
Well, food is food. He kind of looks back, and you can see these people. They need it. They've been on the road 2 weeks. Like they're at their wits' end. If they don't get some real sustenance, some real help, some real medicine soon, some of them aren't going to survive. They'll just die from exposure. And he says, well, then come back safely.
On my life, you will have food and shelter.
And he says, I have nothing to pay you with. I have well, that's not true. And he hands you the caps that he owes you for getting them here safely. And he says, you already deserve these. And he hands the payment over to you that you were due. He says, but, he says, my lucky magazine. And he runs over to a really worn backpack and he pulls out what we would consider a saddle-stitched comic book sized magazine. And he runs it over to you and he says, this is my lucky magazine. Take it with you. It will offer you only good things. And then you can bring it back to me when you return with all the food.
Perfect, will do.
And he kind of waddles back over to continue. They seem to be trying to cook something up for breakfast over this small fire against the wind. They kind of use the cart to block the wind, whichever direction it's blowing, and he's kind of trying to cook food for everybody. Bentham, you can draw a random magazine from the magazine deck.
Okay.
For all of you at home, I have taken much of the tables from this game and put them into cards. I think the question mark is the magazine deck.
True police stories.
Yeah, true police stories. Here, let me pull this over for everybody, and then I'll let you claim the card, Beb. I say that. True police stories. Shoot to kill. I will need to find out what you get for your police stories. So let's do this. I'm going to transition us over here and let me search the compendium to see. Yeah, police stories. Okay, what do you get? When you pulled it, once when you roll the damage of an attack, you may spend a luck point to turn up to 3 critical damage to any face rather than rolling them. If you learn this perk, you may do this once per scene. Oh, nice. So you basically can turn certain things into critical damage. So I will copy and paste all of this to you. You can also search it in the compendium under True Police Stories. But you gain a new perk. That's what you get if you decide to read the magazine. If not, you can just collect it and give it back to him.
I'll probably read it on the way.
Yeah.
While we're trekking across the train tracks.
Go ahead and then just right click on that image, and I think it'll tell you like take card. You can take that card and it is yours. It'll go into your little inventory down there. So, okay. Y'all set out. We are going to do a travel roll. We've done this before. This is not new territory for Mortimer. So I would suggest you make the roll and everybody support you, but that's up to you.
Okay.
I'm going to say it is a well-traveled path, as long as you're going to follow the railroad tracks in essence. So I'll say it's probably just a 1 difficulty if you make it mortal. It'll be 2 if anybody else makes it that doesn't know this area.
I'll make it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to make a 2. Survival endurance check for the group. You got a 1. I should have asked you, did you want to spend any of your... Oh, and I will say it's all back. There are 4 of you today, so you only have 4 AP as a group. There is AP if you wanted to add a 3rd die to that. Or a 4th die.
I think I'll just go for the roll and see how it goes, because I can re-roll with luck, right?
You can. You can re-roll that 14 with luck, so you can spend a luck and re-roll.
Oh, I haven't rolled yet.
Oh, I thought it was Grant's survival endurance. Got it.
Oh,
Got
yeah,
it.
no. That was my mistake.
Oh, no,
earlier.
you're good. I was
Yeah,
like, oh.
I'm just gonna roll it with 2, and we'll
With
see how
2,
we
and we'll
go.
see
And
how
if
it
we
goes.
need more, we do need more. Okay.
You have to get a success for anybody to assist you. So you can spend a luck and reroll one of those 12s.
Uh-oh. This has gone wrong rapidly. Okay, spending a luck. Reroll D10.
You do have some landmarks you're
endurance,
looking for, right? So
survival.
okay.
Hey, there we go, 2.
You got 2 successes because that's a tag skill for you, right?
Yep.
So it's become so your critical range is larger. So well done. You got the 2 successes. It is luck. Sheer luck, Mortimer, because as you set out, you know the direction out of town to get to this point, and you think you know where the railroad tracks are, but unfortunately, the snow has covered everything. Mounds of it, and it makes it difficult to find the railroad tracks. But it's not the railroad tracks that are going to lead you there, because by sheer dumb luck, you look north to the horizon line, and you can see a plume of smoke still burning from the night before. And by luck, you can do it.
Like, after we get a good distance away from the town, Grant will probably be like, now's probably a good time to let y'all know. I kind of like, after I was treated like an ass at the city, let a bunch of people know outside about the train and the food. So, we might have just gotten beaten to the punch. Just saying. Just wanted to let you know, now. Just in case.
Well, I mean, the kind of people that were camping outside the city probably aren't the kind that can take back the food from a bunch of raiders anyway.
Fair enough.
Probably just end up with less mouths to feed, which is good because it looks like our food is on fire.
Oh.
You do remember him saying there was an explosion, so.
If we're lucky, that's just the fuel for the train.
Who's first?
It's going to be quite a hike. You have probably 2 or 3 hours on foot.
Okay.
I take the lead.
Yep.
And you begin walking.
Just following in tow.
Yeah, we're just following him.
I'm going to say, because it was just dumb luck, you didn't roll any complications, but along the way, maybe it's even Sister Delilah, you're drawn to radioactive things. Like, you can feel it off of them. As you're kind of walking north, trying to reach this plume of smoke, you come across an interesting kind of glow coming from the snow. Off the trail that you're following Mortimer. Mortimer walks right past it. Glowing things are probably not good for him. But your eye can't help but note it, even in what is considered daylight, which is really covered by a lot of snow clouds right now. It's rather cold and dark. But the wind and the snow has eased itself on this day, and you can see it. You can see it like glowing just off the path.
One moment, I may have discovered a sacred ground.
You may have discovered a sacred ground. What the fuck does that even mean?
Do you see that light over there? It is divine in nature.
It's
Oh, here we go.
Girl, kill yourself after we do make sure the food's there, right?
And it's not very far off path.
It would only be a moment.
In fact, it looks like even though all of this is white snow now, it's kind of been covered, that there might have been some kind of foundational structure left here, like a wall or something, that snow is kind of built up and over. And it's right kind of near that, almost in a nook and cranny of the snow. And as you walk over, you see these glowing mushrooms. They're like a fungus. They're almost like a shelf fungus, but it looks like it has like bloomed in a way, the way a flower might. And it's kind of panned out in 3 or 4 pieces, and it's giving off a lot of radiation.
Wow. These are beautiful. I kind of want to pluck them.
Go for it.
I'm going to grab them.
I would like a strength check, a actual athletics strength check, because as you try to pull, it doesn't come out very easy.
It tastes like ass.
I'm not very good at this. Yeah.
You
not my
start
specialty.
You start to pull, and like it's like really in there. So maybe you dig a little in the snow to like loosen it, like you might a root vegetable, right, or something to kind of give it some. And as you dig, first kind of foot of snow, you can see that this mushroom just roots deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. How deep do you dig, Delilah?
She's not very. So honestly, she might give up after like.
Do any of you come over to see? You see Delilah hit her knees in like 1.5 feet, almost 2 feet of snow. It's like digging through the snow.
There's probably like a shot of her digging, and like you see Grant stroll up casually, like he's about to help, and then he stops and throws his hands in his pockets, and he just kind of like looks over her shoulder. Just starts
And you
walking.
see it too. You've been in the wasteland a long time. You've never seen a mushroom like this before. This is kind of new. New things pop up all the time. That's the thing about radiation and Adam's glow. It creates new things constantly. But you've never seen this before. Maybe something because of the extreme weather that's come through, a change in the ecosystem. But you watch Delilah eventually give up. She can't seem to hit the bottom of the snow pile to be able to uproot these mushrooms.
As she gets to leave, like, yeah, that's what all children of Adam want to see, a quitter.
It seems I may need some assistance.
Oh, is the son of Adam's gift just too much for you to handle on your own?
It's clearly this divine thing in front of us. It is deeply rooted within the ground. And it is okay to admit not only I would be able to uproot such a beautiful gift that has been given, but it must be a sign more than anything.
Mason, Mortimer, do you stop walking, Mortimer, or are you just keeping the trail going forward?
I've stopped because everyone else has stopped, and I've turned back to watch, but I'm not approaching a glowing thing. I'm gonna leave that.
Mason?
Like, I might put a wall between me and it if I can. And
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
imagine
gonna
you're
wait
keeping
for it.
some distance. Yeah.
Yes,
I'm waiting for
Delilah.
Delilah to get it out of her system or eat the thing or whatever it is she's gonna do.
How can I be of assistance to you, Wastelander?
Do you have any devices that help with uprooting, digging, gardening, anything like that?
Mason, your ass is on fire.
I'm a barber. But I could burn it, if that's what you're after.
Well, I don't want to burn such a beautiful...
What is this beautiful thing?
Mason will hover over.
You kind of come over, and his fire trail does cut some of the snow, like melt it away as he kind of trails in. And as you get close, you see where Delilah has attempted to dig it out, and these mushrooms just root too deep. And it is the best way I can explain is it kind of looks like shelf fungus, but it didn't grow. It might have grown off of something, but it almost bloomed. It kind of creates almost like it grows in like a circular pattern, a spiral.
Grant, probably to Delilah, who's like still like trying to figure out how to do this, just says, there's an old saying back from when I'm around. There's do or do not. There is no try.
We have a similar saying among the those who follow Adam, that persistence will only help you find the light. So we must continue and try to uproot this.
Mason, would you like to help? Would you like to make the strength athletics check?
I think Mason would probably just reach down and clip the cap.
Okay. Oh, okay. You reach down. There are kind of multiple buddings of them, we'll say, like groupings
Sure.
of them here. Probably about 3 groupings. And you reach down, your pincers pick one up, and we see scissors or maybe the saw come through and just snip it off. And as you snip it off, it looks like a fungus. It looks like a pretty standard fungus. It's highly irradiated. The question is, you've never seen a fungus root this deep. Usually it grows off the surface of something. A fungus does.
I do not recommend eating this. Irradiated mycelium would not be healthy.
Well, Sister
No.
Delilah, you could eat it. Mushrooms are edible.
That's true.
Would you like to
I-
make one more athletic strength check to try to
Yeah.
pluck it, or would you prefer to try a different method of trying to pluck it? Since if you are dedicated to that cause, I should
I
say.
would like to try, and it doesn't seem like when he just like snipped it, it didn't degrade in any way, or
No, it didn't degrade. You can see the stalk is kind of thick, and it has it has a meaty. Is the best way I can say it, like meaty texture to it. It's a very dense mushroom. It's something that you're meant to like cook up and eat almost.
It's a thick and meaty mushroom
It's a
right
thick,
there.
thick and meaty radioactive mushroom, baby, brought to you by the wasteland itself.
Perhaps, Mason, you could clip the rest of them. I'll just ask him to do it.
What are if I use my heater, my flame, can I melt the snow all the way around this?
Yeah,
What
you
is
could do a
is
perimeter.
Is it growing on a tree or is it growing in the grass?
It's growing straight out of the snow, off something
straight out of the snow.
straight out of the. It does seem like wherever it's growing out of is nearby, like I said, an old foundational building or a destructed wall, because snow has built up around it. You can see that
Sure.
there's like a something defining itself out of the core, like 1.5 or 2 foot of snow. But these things are like growing out of the icy snow.
Okay. I out of game am aware of the necessity for growth for mushrooms. I don't believe even under irradiation this doesn't have a primary source of food. So I would really like to melt some of the snow
Yeah.
down to see what it's growing.
I'm not even
from.
going to make you make a check on that. Your butt literally melts snow. That is
Yeah.
how
So-
fire to ice works. And as you kind of you start maybe with a wide berth that's not burn the mushroom away. And slowly but surely, as you kind of get closer and some of the snow starts to melt out, the area that's already been dug out, added to it, something falls loose. And you can see a corpse of a person,
so.
2 people that clearly had leaned up against this wall and died, and their chest cavity is burst open as the root of this fungus, as if it started inside and grew out of them, and it has grown up out of the snow, and it's rooted in frozen corpses.
For the benefit of your continued safety, I would recommend not eating that unless you wish to blossom, like that irradiated shroom that you hold now.
That being said, nothing has been able to grow. In fact, everything has died in the wasteland since the snow has set. This is the first plant growth probably any of you have seen in a month.
Wow.
You could bring this to a horticulturist or someone with experience in plant life. A mycelium expert, they might be able to assist you, especially given the circumstances of our current wasteland. But I do not recommend it. Those are corpses, at least 2.
It is a gift.
I
It is.
disagree. But you live your best life.
I will hold on to them. Thank you, Mason, for your assistance.
Of course, Delilah. Don't die now.
They can be trimmed all the way down to the corpse if you want. And you can take some of these irradiated mushrooms with you. I mean, Delilah, other things can have radiation cleanse from them, water, but you would want to eat them in their purest form.
Mhm.
And with a little side quest to claim some mushrooms, yeah.
As everybody walks away, though, Grant probably leans into Mason and go, what'd you say about whores and culture?
Different time, Grant. I believe different time. Horticulture. Very
Right,
close, though.
Where? Where's it? Like, what? Where's the town?
That's a great question. When I find them, I'll let you know.
You just see Grant look fucking confused.
Devastated,
Just sat there
yeah,
like,
yeah.
they're like, why? Like, what the fuck? And yeah, then he'll go.
And as Mortimer, you take the lead again, finally getting the party back on track. And you're leading the way. You begin to, as you get closer, and I'd say y'all are about halfway by now. You kind of hit this spot, this point right here. The radio tower comes into view through kind of the cold, dense air, and you can see that flashing light on the top of it, so you know that you are getting close. There will be no more encounters between there and now, so you have a chance to continue to talk, or we can just cut to arriving at the train.
I think unless he's prompted, Mason probably doesn't have much to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grant.
I guess.
Same.
Yeah, we don't really know what to. I'm like, do we have a plan? But I guess we
It's
really
like,
don't know what to expect.
We're in
there,
mission, right? Like
so-
we're in mission mode right now, which is
Yeah.
to make it to the train. So
Yeah. So
he knows Grant, and he's been traveling with them for 2 weeks. But I can't imagine there's a lot of strategizing,
Yeah.
short of don't freeze to death or get mauled by a deathclaw.
well,
Anything that you've gotten into like trouble with Grant, the only way he's ever gotten out of it is by sheer luck. It's never been by his skill. It's always been some bizarre happenstance that he's been able to get out
well,
of.
the good news is y'all, Mortimer rolled high enough to not lead you into any danger. There will be no dangerous complications
Let's
from
go.
here till now. That being said, about halfway there, Mortimer, you see something sitting on like it's kind of poking out of the snow, which tells you, because of what it is, that you have been walking almost parallel to the train tracks. It's one of those hand carts, the uppy down ones. Like, and it comes up and down. It seems to be covered in quite a bit of snow and possibly is frozen or iced on. You don't know, but you can see it just off to the left where the actual train line is. It's the first time you're going to actually see the train tracks.
If one of those has survived, we might be able to use that to get back. We're like really close now. Where like if we could take...
You could take it now because you're about halfway there. It would cut your time significantly. Mason can fly. You know, Mason. I imagine there's like some use again of your fire to kind of chisel dethaw this thing, which is great because otherwise it would be very, very frozen. And Mason, you'll probably have to travel in front of them to clear the railroad tracks of snow so they can actually pump through this. Who is pumping? Because I need an athletic strength check probably. Because it's it could also be a strength endurance check because it's going to be an extended amount of time of this like activity. I'll take whichever you think is strongest for you.
I appreciate the verbose change.
Also, I'll do an athletic strength. That works for me.
Playing Mr. Handy is kind of busted.
In winter,
it is until you are busted.
Yeah, exactly. Until you're busted. Yeah.
All right, a single success. It is a slow push. The tracks are ice. You're kind of fighting against what nature has done to these tracks. Plus, these tracks are rusted and 200 freaking years old. Okay, and this car is squeaking just as Mortimer is up and down and up and down and up and down, while Delilah and Grant sit on the side, enjoying their ride to the train. And this should take you straight there. This is the train track you're looking for.
As I'm doing this, I'm like, this thing's two-sided.
Yeah, the other side's empty of the seesaw, basically.
Yeah. It's like, you're right, Delilah. How bad do you want to go bring this food back to your religion?
Delilah has no strength. I think
you can assist with this roll, so you could roll to assist him, which is basically just roll 1d20 against your strength athletics. It won't hurt him unless you roll a complication.
Any progress we can make faster toward our goals, I think, is worthy.
That's a real go-getter right there.
I will provide my assist.
All right. Roll. I think you can. You'll have to hit your token to the left, and you can click the roll to assist button in chat.
Yes.
Yep. And then it'll ask you like what for, and it will be a strength athletics check. All right. Sister Delilah is on the other end. You can't say that it's actually helping you in any way, but it's not necessarily hindering you either. You will still work just as hard, Mortimer.
All right, I got an idea. Come here, Mason. I want to bring you to the front of the thing, and I want to like lean you on your side and just have you angled your jet down at the tracks to like pre-melt them as we go.
Oh, that's what he's doing. He's leading you.
He's already doing that.
Mason will definitely allow.
I love it when you cradle me, Grant.
I just grab you by two of your eye stalks, basically. And
I just kind of like guide him. And you try, and actually maybe what you do is you
kick him a couple times to maybe jostle fuel to intensify the flame.
It heats the wheels. It heats the wheels on this metal cart, meaning it'll cut through the ice a lot faster. The good news is it is faster than walking, but not by much. And eventually,
I thought you were going to
way more complicated than walking.
But you have a way to bring the food back.
I thought you were going to use him as like an outboard, just like stick him on the back, facing backwards, and just
pushing you forward.
Maybe Mortimer says that, and I'm like, "That's a great idea." I hustle you to the back, and I try to use you like fucking Breath of the Wild, slapping a rocket onto you.
when you do that, he was like,
"I like it when you held me at the front better. I felt like
you look better in the back."
It also doesn't really work.
Winslet and you're DiCaprio at Titanic, December 19th, 1997. I was the king of the world. Please cradle me at the front again.
I'm so glad you have culture that these people don't. And I just like pick you up and I cradle you back to the front because it's not working in the back, as Dot said.
And eventually, another hour or so passes of this incessant squeaking. Mortimer is in cold sweat.
Mason would want to bring up something, especially like moments ago when Grant brought up the food, and we keep hearing about the children of Adam.
I think it's a safe time to bring up that, well, Grant and I have determined that Miss Shoeshine Parker, she's withholding information. She's lying about something.
Yeah, real tough nut to crack.
What could she possibly be withholding?
That is infinitely beyond me, but I believe it has something to do with the food.
It's not that hard. Are we all? She's just gonna. Hello, she's gonna radiate the food, everybody. It's not that hard to fucking figure out.
That makes sense.
And is that a problem?
Well, it's gonna kill most of the people in the city.
I think it'll only strengthen us.
In a way, because as they die, more food for everybody else. Kind of, sorta.
You know what, Sister Delilah? You've never heard of the children of Adam poisoning people. Everybody that has been a part of your religion, and it may be one of the reasons why you joined, it is always very consensual. You have to, nobody force feeds you. There's no drinking the
You're
Kool-Aid.
right.
It is, you have to choose that. We don't poison people. The children of Adam do not poison people. You're convinced of that. You've never.
Yeah.
Never.
So
Blasphemy.
actually, yeah, retcon what Delilah said there. She wouldn't. I don't think she'd be like, "Well, there's nothing." She doesn't see anything wrong with it, but also that is rather odd, though, as generally those who are lost children only consume Adam's glow when they accept his divine light, and not everybody in Diamond City has yet to accept.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. The Wasteland's known for people telling the truth all the time.
And this does bring some questions as to this sect that has been formed within Diamond City.
It'll be the first time you're questioning people of your religion, Delilah.
It is quite all right for people to see differences in how certain parts of our religion are. We can disagree and debate and argue, but there are some things that are absolute truths. And one of them is specifically that. So
it's like a law.
It's
like you're a child of Adam. One of the rules is the
do not-
leaders never lie and don't poison people.
That is historically incorrect.
You're telling me, buddy. You're telling me. He just like kind of throws an elbow into you.
You would say that if food had been irradiated by Adam's glow, that is not poisoning. That was Adam's choice. The act of him poisoning the food would mean, yes, it was a direct action, but if you find irradiated food, that is not poisoning. That is Adam blessing it. Just like these
Yes.
mushrooms.
To do something to take Adam's gifts and put them in your own hands as if you are the one bestowing them, that is a bit blasphemous in my eyes. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. When we return to Diamond City, I may
Do you know
question
why we live in a wasteland?
because of
Man took something into their own hands and
Adam's kindness is what you heard.
this is a gift from Adam.
Mason, how in the fuck are we 200 years after all that bullshit and humanity still finds a way to make shit a really boring religion?
Where most of the lost children see this as war and devastation, we see it as creation and unification.
I just point to like a random corpse or bone. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, cradle of life and civilization, baby.
Yeah, a body's like
Yeah,
mangled,
it's like
you
a
know.
fucking dead body that I point back
Yeah,
to where the
that gets
mushrooms at
clear.
really
Yeah,
cut
like
out.
cleared by Mason on the way as you're like pumping. It gets cleared off the railroad track, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And soon the plume is no longer in the distance. In fact, as you kind of come around a small bend, you can see it, the accident. It was no small train, and I will actually bring y'all over to this as well as our dear friends at home. For you Fallout 4
sorry, y'all, didn't mean to
fans,
replay the
this
video.
is in fact the train just south of Oberland Station. That's in Fallout 4 that is wrecked.
Nice.
You can see that it's like multiple cars, and it's been derailed by an explosion here. See if I can get some more of that. Yeah. And it kind of sits on its side, and all around is spilled food and crates, and there are plumes of smoke from the 2 burned cars that were kind of taken out. And you can see activity. There are people here scavenging. In fact, they are probably scavengers. And actually, I will take y'all over here to this map instead, since that's just an image. This is the overhead. All right. Y'all are coming in this direction, like down here, from the southern end of the railroad track. So you're going to have to stop and walk a couple cars down to actually reach the activity. But it seems that about 4 or 5 people are on top of and trying to break into 2 of the carts that have not been popped open yet. One of the carts spilled out and has been heavily scavenged.
All right, this doesn't have to end violently. We can probably just tell them to get on their way.
Why don't we let them finish taking what they want, and we'll take what's left?
I would say that these look like possibly some of the people from Diamond City.
Yeah, that's
Grant,
why
just
Grant is
just
saying
so
that.
you know.
Yeah, I'm like, these are the people I told about it. They ain't dead yet. Let them get what they want. We'll take what's left.
I guess that works.
Y'all just gonna wait and watch them? Let them do their thing?
I mean, they can only carry so much. I don't imagine they have like Brahmin with them or anything to like, you know, I'm imagining there's only, they have
it's
maybe a
only gonna
backpack
be
or
what they
something.
can carry.
Literally, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, just they might overstuff themselves a little bit, but there's no way they're going to be able to take a majority of what's on that train.
All right, this is interesting. All right, so you choose not to engage with the scavengers. Y'all just let them do their thing from a distance.
Yes,
Okay.
that's my. That's. I mean, that's what I'm doing.
All right. Yeah.
Mason becomes Savoy.
Do you put the mask on yourself?
I think he will move off behind a tree, yes.
You probably,
Complete the transformation.
like look over. It's like you watch him puttering away.
Yeah, off
very
stage.
slowly.
He like spins around while putting it on.
Yeah, yeah.
I full anime girl transformation.
I swear,
I'd like a
if
full
you-
transform scene.
If you could give me steel roses, he's so close to being Tuxedo Mask. It's absurd.
Oh yeah, and that's basically what we get. You come back from around the tree and the mask is on just above the mustache and below the cap. The 2 eye stalks pointing out on top, and I imagine way down the train cars, maybe I'll peep around the corner Scooby-Doo style to kind of take in what's going on. And these scavengers are trying to break into one of the train cars. They've got like a crowbar.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Why are you here?
Why aren't we here? This is the perfect opportunity.
For what?
Crime.
He just looks. He looks at you for a minute and he thinks, you know what? Great idea. They look like they're having a hard time getting in there. Gentleman thief. Maybe could help him
Master
unlock.
Purloin, you have read my mind.
Now, if you're interested, there is one train car that has not been tapped into. So if you're looking at the map, this one is the one that spilled out, has been scavenged, the one closest to you all.
Sure.
This one has not been tapped open or bothered in any way. In fact, it's probably the most that of still on the tracks. It's just a little askewed. And then they're trying to pick these 2 here and here.
We can go to the other one or try.
Yeah,
to
I was about to say, it's up to you.
No
you
reason
can
not
you can
to.
go to these 2 and try to help them out on the lock, Savoy, or you can take to your own lock.
Do they seem to have
Weapons? Yes.
Weapons? They do? Okay. Well,
They didn't send the people from that can't defend themselves out here to grab things. They are strapping.
you know, it might be better. In fact, I think Savoy would say that.
I would approach their carts, but I am acutely allergic to lead.
Well, how about the one like they're not touching? The one that's like kind of near us.
I would be able to do this silently, but there's a strong chance that they would see me and attack.
Train cars
Grant
open
shrugs.
from both sides.
Grant shrugs. We can just literally just wait him out.
Good point.
And Mason will take that opportunity to kind of like and fly right over the top to the other side.
Yeah, so basically, this side has has a door, but this side also has a door, and you kind of around and go over just to make that quick lockpick check.
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
have
try.
no doubt you'll have 0 issues with it. It's not hefty locks.
Sure. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do a regular lockpick here.
Mhm.
I don't know why, but every time oh wait, there it is. Submit.
A complication.
Uh-oh.
Would you like to spend luck to re-roll that 20?
Yeah, I think I think I would. I would like to. Yeah.
Don't forget, y'all have 4 AP
wait.
as well.
You know what?
Mm.
No, I don't think. I think it makes way more sense for him to see this as like a more direct challenge and like really like kind of snap the the knuckles.
Yeah,
right?
you don't have them, but if you did, you would have cracked them. Maybe we
Yeah.
hear the joints on your pincers or something like
He
wiggle
probably
jiggle.
just does the noise. Like it's like
Yeah.
the hands come up
Crack.
and you hear.
You make your own sound effect, your own Foley in the moment. And as you go to kind of pick the lock and you're kind of jiggling it, your lockpick breaks. And as it does, on the from the inside, you hear a as if somebody's like knocking. Is somebody out there? And it's like a heavy, like somebody's kicking it. It's like a really heavy, like thud, thud. And it echoes. And the scavengers hear it.
Mason scuttles back around. Excuse me. Savoy scuttles back around.
Uh-huh.
There's a problem. This container has someone or something alive inside. A prisoner. Perhaps a slave.
Mortimer, they definitely have noticed because one of them is walking down now to check out what's going on. He's this one here is kind of walking your direction down towards the end of the train to check out and see what the dealio is. What made the sound?
Oh shit! Well, apparently they've noticed too, and I'm like readying my gun, but I'm staying hidden for the moment.
Yeah, I was about to say you're all kind of at the end of the train, what would be considered the actual tail end of it, the flat end of the last boxcar. And this guy has his pipe pistol drawn, kind of trying to check it out.
In the moment, then, as they're coming close to us,
Mhm.
I'll step out and I'll be throw my hands in the air and I'll be like, whoa, 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 hey, remember me?
He kind of
Hey.
points right at you. He goes, this is our find. It's ours. We found it first.
I'm the one that told you about it. I know. Come on now. How many ghouls have you talked to in the past 24 hours?
What do you mean?
I was the one that told people in front of the Diamond City about this thing. I think the people deserve it, not those fucks.
Okay, so you can do two things here. You can spend a luck and declare a moment in the story, like a thing, or you can make a check, which is a speech charisma check. I'll let you do it.
I'll drop down to 6 luck. I'll use a luck point and just declare.
He goes, hey, I remember you. You told Billy Bob about us.
Yeah, I love Billy Bob. Dude's got a great name. Hard to forget.
Billy Bob said you came to him and told us, thank you so much. I'm sorry, man. And he's like, pipe pistol's like, oh. And he kind of puts it away.
I'll lower my hands. I'll be like, I just heard there might be raiders out this way and I wanted to make sure you guys were good. I literally brought like security. They're all with me. If you
brought
right?
Diamond City security?
No,
dude?
God, no. Lord, no. Fuck Diamond City.
Whew.
These are people I've been traveling into Diamond City with and now out of. One is my buddies, a Mr. Handy guy. One of them's just, don't worry about her. Another one's just like a merc for hire kind of guy. You mind?
Well, those carts are ours. And he points to the two that they're just
Already
got
told
the
them.
crowbar popped on, and you hear the door, like the heavy metal door, like slide open
Yeah.
with pressure and kind of bounce a little bit.
Already told them we ain't here to take anything until you're done. But I don't want you to be surprised and pull a pistol on us and put a bullet in somebody's head that doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, no. He's like, but the raiders did come. And he actually points, because he's walked down to kind of meet you down here, Mathas, back behind him to this cart that they had already, I'm sorry, the one nearest you that they had already raided. And he points to a whole lot of footprints. The raiders have already come through.
Then
More
at this
than
point,
likely
I'll
caused
do
this
like-
explosion.
I'll just do like a sharp whistle back, like Mortimer, Mason, Delilah. We're good and careful. There were apparently raiders nearby.
And then you hear the same, like, of those feet again. The guy
And
jumps and pulls his gun.
I'd be like, don't know who that is, though.
He goes, what the hell, man? He goes, don't open that. I bet it's a ghoul. I mean, I'm so sorry. A pharaoh ghoul.
Yeah.
Pharaoh ghoul.
Way different.
He goes, I heard that the storms turned them, their skin white. They're all frosty.
That sounds really spooky.
Do we know that feral
And I
ghouls?
look over, waiting for the rest of the party to
Feral
show up.
ghouls can't communicate, right?
They
No.
cannot.
Okay.
All they want to do is tear you apart and eat you.
Grant, I have reason to believe that this ghoul, if inside is in fact a ghoul, is not feral. He speaks. He communicates.
Well, yeah. Well, I ain't feral. That's good at least.
But-
Still
but-
could be.
Wait, no, don't. And he kind of pulls the gun and goes, don't open that door. He says, you don't know what's in there. If they put it in there, maybe it should stay in there, man.
Like I said, we ain't
It's
gonna do
probably-
shit until you're done and on your way. Then we'll worry about it. Deal?
Deal. He kind of
I'll
stutters
hold
a
out
little
my hand
bit.
a shake, like a shake. I don't, like
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I probably have it from old world as well, but like I just throw my hand out, shake.
This person does not hold the views of Diamond City because he does great, like shake your hand and he goes, I'll tell everybody to leave you alone till we're done. And he kind of goes back down to the crew who have now broken into the train car, and they're pulling out as much as they can, trying to decide what they can take, how they can stuff stuff, backpack it, the works. And they do have a small hand cart. You can see where like the wheels cut through the snow, but it has to be hand carried by somebody. And they kind of load it full of as much as they can get on it. Before they do in fact wheel away the same direction you all came. And I'll just clear them here from the board because they leave. And the banging doesn't stop. In fact, the four of them look really hesitant as they pass by, and you hear that same muffled, like, yelling and screaming and banging from the inside of this fourth cart.
I'll wave them goodbye and be like, hey, I wish you be safe, blah, 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 blah. And when they're gone, be like, all right, you want to shoot whatever's in there, feel free. I don't know what's in there.
It's probably a member of the crew. Let's just open it and see.
I just take a step back.
Locks, my esteemed colleagues, they're the silent witnesses to our exploits, each one a testament to the artistry of the purloiner's craft. Allow me.
I'll try again.
Yeah, your arm comes out this time. You give up on the bobby pin that was given to you last night, and go back to your core tools of the trade.
Yeah, I'll use an action point for this one.
Absolutely. Down an action point, mark it.
Yeah.
Can I luck that, Ben, if it's still not working for me?
Absolutely can luck that.
Okay, so...
Hey, those are just some unlucky rolls.
Yeah, it's just not great.
For everybody at home, that
fantastic.
was... Yeah.
All right, so I'm just basically re-rolling all of them?
You re-roll one of them.
One
per luck point you spend, yep.
Okay, so then... I don't have a... let me see. Did we put our tokens on the sheet?
We did not. You shouldn't have to re-roll that way. Go to the top of your character sheet, to the upper left to that little D20 blue button.
Uh-huh.
And then click that and you can do a custom roll of 1D20 to the... Or whatever you need.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. To lockpick perception.
Oh, attribute, perception, lockpick, roll. No, okay. If this were D&D, it'd be fantastic.
Oof.
Mortimer. You were given a lucky magazine. Whether or not you believe it is lucky, it is for that old man. You have a free luck point, in essence, for the run of this. If you wanted to give it to him or help him, you could make the lockpick perception. Does anybody have lockpick perception but Mason?
Nope.
No.
There is a crowbar that has been left behind. You can strength athletics this thing open with a crowbar. It will drop.
I have ranks in it. I'm not tagged in it, but I have ranks in lockpick.
You could also take the extra luck point and give it a try. Or like I said, Mortimer, you're welcome to. Basically, they would left the crowbar behind. It was too much weight. They wanted to take as much other stuff as possible.
I'll let Grant try the lockpick if he wants, but I'm grabbing the crowbar.
Grant, how do you approach Mason to assist him?
He's completely defeated. He looks to you, Grant, with like the tools slinking down to his
side. He
side.
just walks over and he probably looks at it. He's like, the old American fix of anything. Ugh. And I just lift my foot up and I kick the door really fucking hard.
All right, a strength athletics check to just kick the door open.
Let's try it. No, I'm gonna instead use my luck.
Oh, and just claim it.
And just roll a luck. Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, you use a luck, and Mason, it's absolutely because you fiddled with it first. It's like the jar. It's because you did it first. But Mason comes over and at just the right. I'm sorry. Grant comes over and at just the right angle kicks like the handle. Right? And the door clips free of some rust and just snaps. The lock snaps open. And as the door slides open, on the floor of the train car is a whole bunch of spilled food. And a man, bound by the feet and the hands, and he's gagged. He's an older man. He has long hair. And Delilah, he wears the robes of a child of Adam. And we will take our break there. Because we're right at 10 minutes till, so we're going to take a break.
Oh no.
We'll take a break and we'll be right back, everybody.
Prepare for double.
Gang, we are back. We have hot coffee, real hot coffee, not that shit they serve at the dugout inn. And we're back. If you are just joining us, thanks for being here. I'm not going to go down the spiel again. What I can tell you is we are really glad you are, spending your afternoon with us, morning potentially, wherever you're at in the time zones of the world. And our intrepid survivors have walked down a set of train tracks for quite a few hours through the frigid cold to find a train wreck. And train wreck they found, though they managed to talk their way out of any violence. This group continues to achieve things that way. And what they did find, though, is there is still food here. There's too much food to carry by hand for just few people. Like, there's still food. And they've opened one of the train cars that had been untouched. Food spills out. And laying on the ground, or on the base of this train car, is a man. Dressed in Children of Adam robes and bound by his hands, feet, and gagged. He has been beaten. I would not say severely beaten, no torture, nothing, no extreme methods, but he has some bruising. He clearly was attacked and tied up and tossed in this train car.
This...
Friend of yours?
Not all children of Adam know each other, first and foremost. Secondly, we must untie him. He's a fellow child of Adam.
And he's like,
I look around, I'm like, okay, two things. Let's just take a minute and think logically. We heard a voice. He is gagged.
Somebody must have tied him up as prisoner.
If you want to go hurrah right on in, feel free. I'm just saying.
Mason slides in one of his ocular orbs just to look in briefly.
Yeah.
Like, in through the door.
He kind of looks up at it, and he can't really cringe back. He's bound and tied, but he does make eye contact with Sister Delilah, seeing the patch on, and you can see there's a desperation in his eyes, and he's kind of in a begging point, and he's wiggling on the ground because he's just tied up on his side.
We must help him.
Grant probably lazily pulls his pipe pistol and he goes, so there's probably two people in here. 50-50 shot. He's the bad guy. The other one's the good guy, and vice versa. So I'll just keep my gun pointed at the one that can't move, and you go see what's going on in there.
Can Mason see into the cart?
Yeah, there's nothing in here but food and one person tied up.
Was the voice that was heard before a muffled one or a non-muffled one?
It was muffled.
We heard words, right? We heard
It was there was kind of kind of from the other side. So Mason can take from that what Mason wants, but yeah.
Okay.
I would like to help this tied up child of Adam.
You have a switchblade.
Yep.
And he quits struggling as you come up, and what you cut his hands, his feet.
Yeah.
Do you anything first? You do his mouth first.
I will unbind his hands, and then the mouth, and then the feet.
Great. Okay, so as you undo his hands, he takes his mouth out as you're cutting his feet, and he says, "Praise Adam's glory that you have found me, sister."
This was his will for me to find you. What has happened to you?
Oh boy. You can tell that he has been beaten, and he says, "I caught a ride with the Diamond City Security. They picked me up. I was walking the train tracks from north to south on my pilgrimage to the glowing sea. I have a message for Adam. No, the last son of Adam."
You have a message for the last son of Adam.
4 months I have had dreams, sister. Dreams. And you can see the rest of you, a crazed look in this man's eye. Not like he's gonna do any harm to her, but he's a little off his rocker. He ate too much radiation for breakfast. And he's like, I have seen in my dreams the symbols of the last son of Adam, his coming glory. And he with his shaking hand, you can see he's got blood. They've clearly punched him mostly and beaten him. He doesn't even care to tell you the story of the fact that scavengers, when they got here, killed the rest of Diamond City Security except for the one you saved and tied him up. He skips all of that and goes straight to pulling out a medallion, a necklace piece, big, from under his robes. Take up the whole entirety of the triangle. It's more kind of centralized to the top. Ooh. Grant and Mason, if you are looking,
Oh yeah, I have my
really,
gun pointed at him still.
I was about to say, this is an
Lazily,
intelligence check, and you
lazily.
can see it. He holds it out for you all to see it, and he says, "This is the new symbol of our church. I have seen it in my visions. Great light, images from beyond."
So what do I roll?
You can roll an intelligence. I guess a survival is like your memory. It's really kind of like a memory check. It's from something before, like pre-war. So I would say, no, fuck it. I'm gonna give it to y'all both because honestly, if you lived pre-war, you knew it. Mason, you would have never have used it. Grant, you absolutely would have, and depending on what you did, if it were in fact a chef, you would have seen a lot of it. The symbol reminds you of something that used to be on American money.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it looks familiar. It's like the little triangle that used to be on the good old U.S. buckaroo. Sometimes if you filled the dollar the right way, you could see like a skull, and it would be kind of cool. You're really impressive for a while.
He says, "I know not of any of this, only that it has come to me, haunted, but also blessed my dreams. I must deliver this new icon of our people to the last son of Adam. I am on my journey, or was, until the explosion, and then raiders attacked, and they beat me and bound me here."
Well, look, for you, I'm the second cousin of Adam, of Adam, and second cousin of Adam, and I'll bring it to him. Or no, you know what? Just trust her. She'll bring it to him.
Are you two on a pilgrimage to meet our great Messiah?
Yes, I am.
I have heard that the children of Adam are convening in Diamond City. Is it true? Is this where you come from?
Indeed, we just came from the city, and it is indeed the flocks are coming.
Praise Adam's glory. He says, "Thank you so much for delivering me." And he immediately puts the icon back in his shirt as if it's, this is Frodo with the ring, right? And he hides it from all of you, and he says, I must be on my way. I am already behind. I'm sure I have missed the morning's sermon. He says, hopefully.
Are you heading back to Diamond City?
Well, yes, of course.
Diamond City?
I must go south, and I thought I would pilgrimage with the rest of the children of Adam southward to the glowing sea.
You can come with us if you like. We are. Will be making.
You are all going to the glowing sea?
We will be making our way back to Diamond City. We've come here to get more food for the city, as per the request of the mayor.
Sorry about this, Mason. I go, oh, whoops, and I fucking fire my pistol and try to blow his knee out.
You're gonna shoot him?
In his knee.
My
I just want to take his knee out. I don't want him coming with us.
All right, this is a called shot. It will make it more difficult. This is the first bit of actual direct-on-direct violence we have had. So I'm going to transition us over to the combat cheat sheet that I've worked up here so that everybody at home knows what the hell's going on here with these rolls. So you have initiated the combat. In this case, nobody else is really going...
I don't want to kill him. I just want to blow his knee out.
Is anybody...
Also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is how this works. And you don't roll for initiative. You have a solid initiative score or number. But because you are initiating combat, you get a free action only as the initiator. So we're going to let you take your round. You're shooting him with a ranged weapon. It is a small gun. So actually, if you go down on your sheet to where the weapons listing is, you should just be able to click the weapon you want to use and it'll roll it in chat for you.
Yeah, it's down here. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to use, I'm going to use a luck point and use luck as my stat instead. So.
Okay.
Which is what, 2d20?
It is 2d20.
2d20
as your base, unless you want to buy any, you have 3 action points.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I'll take 1 action point. I just want 1.
Okay.
I haven't touched the action points yet. It'll be the only, I have no desire, but I'll just take 1.
Absolutely.
So it just makes it 3d20. Okay.
It does make it 3d20, correct.
We'll see. I rolled all fucking losses. I'll reroll 1. I'll reroll 2 of those, bring me to 3 luck left.
So, okay, so you're going to take 2 luck out, reroll 2 of them. All right, go for it.
2d20.
Oh, I need to change our action points.
None, just flat 2d20, right?
Flat 2d20, it needs to be under a 10. Hey, both of them are. You lucky bastard.
That's how I built them. It's all luck.
All right.
Pure luck.
Okay.
And I make it look like a half-ass stumble. I'm like, oh fuck. Oh,
Well, he
fuck,
was
that
not
blows me up.
preparing for it, so you will gain an action point back because you got 2 successes, right? One of which will convert, so you got the action point back you spent. And the shot rings out. Because it was called, and you were at close range, basically all the negatives you would have suffered have kind of gone away. And you call the shot, and it takes out the bottom half of his leg from basically the knee down. Pew, a shot rings out. And he falls straight to the floor of the train. You are splattered with thick I almost said it.
Yeah,
thick
you were,
blood.
yeah.
I almost said it. Thick blood, Sister Delilah, all over your kind of smock that you wear.
Oh, fuck, Mason. You should have told me it was like slippery right in that very particular spot that I was standing with my pistol out lazily pointed at a gentleman that I don't want to following us.
He will bleed out.
What have you done?
Oh, he's kind of screaming and yelling. Oh.
Slick right there.
Hey,
Now we've got to
okay.
carry him back.
I grabbed Mason. Cauterize the wound. Just fucking put your little flame over the fucking wound.
Mason, you can roll a is it medical check?
Do it, Mason. Do it.
To use your butt to try to cauterize his
Sure.
leg. Holy
You
crap.
got it.
This is some
Do it?
seriously.
Are you saying do it kill him and accidentally?
All right.
Oh my god.
One success.
You needed 2 to do it without.
Can I assist?
Can I assist?
Yeah, I was going to say, you know what? You can't because you caused this problem. If somebody else wants to assist,
Yeah, fair
Mason,
enough.
I would assist.
Sister Delilah, you can. I don't have your token on this screen. Let me just quick take us over where you can make that happen, and then yeah, go ahead and click the roll to assist button.
Yep. This is intelligence medicine.
Yes, yes, medicine intelligence. Yeah.
Ah.
Do I have?
no.
Does anybody have a stim pack?
You killed.
Here's
this
what I will
man.
tell you.
I mean, I don't care.
It
that much.
cauterizes it.
Hey.
It cauterizes it. He stops bleeding, but he has lost the upper part of the leg now to excessive 3rd-degree burns.
That's fine.
His robes are singed. All the they're no longer long. He's just howling and screaming. Adam, take the pain from me, Adam! And he's kind of he's calling out to his literal god.
Delilah, his blood is weak. He will not survive the winter.
No.
Oh, maybe this was
Y'all
Adam's
didn't even
plan.
learn this guy's name. Y'all don't even know his name!
I'd just like to highlight that Mason
I'm
was
scoop-
standing there. There's a gunshot. Now he's being aimed like a flamethrower.
Grant, now we have to carry him back.
Yeah, I've scooped up some snow
Are
and
you
I'm dumping it on his
goddamn
burned
kidding me?
leg.
Do you really say that?
I say that.
Let him. Why?
We have to carry him back.
There are going to be
so
other people coming. Let him. They'll take him back.
He's on his way, the same place as us.
It's
And he's-
going.
We've
The
made it
longer
worse.
we wait here, the worse it's going to be. The more food that gets taken away.
No, we cannot leave this man here, especially now that we.
Says I will go
accidentally-
nowhere
I
with
certainly
all
can.
of you.
Oh my God! Hang on. All right, Jesus, and I'll walk up to him and I'll fucking I go to pick him up and then I fucking put a bullet in his head.
You do have to make a successful shot. You do.
Can I speech to make it look like I'm actively going to lift him up so nobody suspects? I just put the fucking
Yeah, I'm
gun
gonna.
against his head?
Yes, absolutely. You can make a speech check to see how well you lie that you're going to actually. Yeah. Okay.
one success.
Does anybody feel like they would not believe a basic walkover looks like he's gonna help? There's nothing special about it. He gets no Oscar for the acting.
Yeah, I sigh heavily and I'm like, fine, shut up.
No, don't worry. Grant's got this. He saves the day every time.
Okay, Mason, thank you very much.
I don't think
I-
Sister Delilah is perceptive enough to think he would be.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't care.
Nefarious.
And then Mortimer's like me. He's like, I don't
And
care.
as you walk over,
I
he's
mean,
like, "Don't touch."
I wouldn't have killed him, but I'm not going to stop you killing him.
Yeah, now he's a liability.
Yeah, he's like, "Don't touch me!" No. As you kind of come over.
Okay. I won't
and he's
touch you.
and he's like
Thanks.
panting, and his blood is everywhere. You can smell
Delilah, he's bleeding on the
singed
food.
flesh, singed
Eating on the
flesh.
food.
Oh, he's splattered a large portion of all of this here with that close of a gunshot. Yeah.
Yeah, so you hear, and the
Really
screaming.
stop
Makes-
bleeding.
Make the check. Just make the shot. All you need is a single success.
Very small. I don't have anything in small guns, so back to using a luck point. That's fine.
You also have AP. Remember, you earned one back.
You dare use your AP to kill this man? Our AP?
Yes.
I encourage.
When you say it like that, yes, you know what? I think I will.
That is
He's
yep.
mine.
How dare you?
All right, here we go.
And let it. I will still say you
Here.
still have that luck point, Mortimer.
I got
from
you the action point right on back.
Damn.
Damn. Okay, so I won't even change it on the screen. So we used one, we got one back, so it came to 3. You only need the one success. He kind of starts panicking, and he's trying to keep his hands up, but he's shaking. He's kind of going into shock. Okay, this man is going into shock, and a single shot rings out. A splatter once again of seasoning on all of the food, and his body goes limp.
And it kind of acts like stands up. Must have been Adam's will. Can we move on now?
We're gonna have to wash all that food now.
That's fine.
I am in shock.
No, he was going into shock.
Well, shame the raiders got to him before we could.
Yeah, goddamn shame, Mortimer. Goddamn shame.
We'll go get some of the clean food. We can load it up on the cart. We can take that back, and we can tell them that it's here, and they should get here quickly if they want the rest. And some of it's got blood on it, and it's not our fault.
Yeah, we'll be heroes.
I think it's best that I don't speak to the mayor. Because
What,
I
you got
know
like
it
an
wasn't the
honesty chip
raiders.
in there or something?
This is not the way of the master purloin.
He shakes his head. Probably just walks by Delilah, who's sitting there. I
Just in
imagine.
shock.
Just
Yeah,
shocked, just
looking at
standing
the
there, looking at the
corpse.
So
body.
all of you begin loading up food
I need a moment.
on the cart, right? And
Yeah.
we see the camera on Sister Delilah sitting inside this train car that has both doors basically open, and one side is being unloaded food, and the other, you sit on your knees over the body of this man, whose name was Brother Landon, though you never learned it.
Poor Brother Landon.
His symbols kind of embroidered into his clothing, and the robes probably tell you, now that you have a chance to really look at him, that he was probably a disciple. He wasn't just any follower. Like, he had a higher status of
Dang,
some
he had
kind.
a higher rank.
And based on the one foot that is left, and the wear and tear, because most children of Adam wear sandals or no shoes at all, so they can touch Adam's glow at all points, he's traveled a long way. So more than likely he was picked up by the Diamond City security, who were happy to bring him back. But when the raiders got here, they tied him up, and he never made it to his destination, nor will he make his pilgrimage to the glowing sea.
I'm going to take the symbol that he was keeping on him.
You take the necklace off of him. There's not much of a head left at this point. It's kind of partial, so it's very easy to slide off, but not without getting blood on it.
And then I leave one of the fungi that I collected, one of the glowing mushrooms, and I just place it on his body.
Yeah, you probably go for the head, which is the most open to
Yeah.
the visceral insides, and you place it where the upper half from the nose up would have been, and you just set one of these beautiful, blooming, kind of shelf fungus-like irradiated mushrooms on his face, almost a beautiful burial ceremony in a certain way.
Do you
And
wear like the symbol outside of your outfit, or you tuck it in?
I would tuck it in my shawl.
It is stained with a little blood on the chain from having to get it off of him, a reminder of the man who created it and wore it. And by the time you are done deciding what you wanted to do and how you wanted to honor this man's death, Delilah, the rest of the crew has finished loading up what can be carried back. It will be heavier this time. The good news is most of the tracks are already cleared because you've not been here that long. Is that the plan, to just go back with it all?
Think so?
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's pushing the cart? Because
I'll get on the cart.
this
I mean,
time,
they're like, wouldn't it be nice if there was an able-bodied and eager priest who could help me pump this damn thing?
Sounds like we talk about Delilah.
yeah, I will.
I'm too
yeah.
distraught.
We load up with there. You still look like horrified when we get there. Like,
Actually,
Yes.
unfortunately, I hate to tell y'all this. Do you want to have space for you to ride, or do you want to take more food? Because you have to make a choice. You either could walk with it.
Grant would walk it and put more food on for the people.
Does everybody kind of agree that would be the... Okay, so y'all will walk beside it, but Mortimer, there's just enough space over all these, like, between the boxes on either side to up and down and up and down. So you're going to need to make a strength athletics check. It will be difficult. This is a higher difficulty.
Okay.
When you're doing that,
AP.
I kind of want to, Grant would kind of start talking a little bit to Sister Delilah and be like, hey, listen, no things got chaotic back there. But remember what you said when we found them all tied up? You're like, hey, maybe it was Adam's plan or whatever it was it? Maybe he was all tied up so that we could find him so you could take on his mission. You ever think that maybe you were chosen and this whole thing was orchestrated by Adam to get you to have that? Well, did you take the necklace off the guy?
Yes, I did.
One thing is destroyed, a whole universe is created, a brand new one where you're on a marching mission. Ever think of it like that? That's what old nephew from the Atom is for.
I will think on this.
He shrugs. It just kind of goes back to walking. Just
You
been
know-
thinking, that's all.
You know, that honestly, that logic wasn't that bad, but
Grant has 2 stats.
yeah.
Charisma at a 9, luck at a 10.
And
Everything
maybe
else
it is
a 4.
a snake oil salesman
Yeah,
level of
absolutely.
bedside manner. But whatever
Yeah.
it is, it makes you feel just maybe a little better. And you can
Yeah.
feel the weight of this gilded, handcrafted symbol around your neck. It's heavy. How did we do there? Oh, Mortimer.
I spent an AP
Oh,
and I
no.
completely
Okay.
flubbed it. I'm going to spend 2 luck points to reroll 2 of them.
Okay, 2
Poor
luck points.
Mortimer.
Yeah. Okay.
I managed to
Back
get a
1
success.
so it's back to squeaky wheels.
Oh no.
All right. Yeah, it is a slow trip. Not only are
Oh,
y'all
man.
walking beside it, but Mortimer, this shit is heavy. And, you know, the way this machine works literally is the pressure at which you push up and down is the rate at which the wheels turn. And you are just a one-man machine right now, and you are trucking along at such a pace, and it is cold. And the wind begins to set in later in the day. It's a 3-hour journey here and a 3-hour journey back. You don't cut any time from it, but I guess, here's the thing. You don't really have to make a travel check because you are following the railroad tracks. And you are going to have to make a choice. Do you offload here, or do you want to follow the railroad tracks all the way around?
Probably follow them all the way around, right? Because
That's where the train
gonna
would have
have-
pulled in, and then they would have unloaded to Diamond City here, right?
yeah, so they would have had transport between the railroad and there. So because otherwise we got to lug like
Correct.
Yeah.
some of the food back with us on foot. I think we just
Makes
take the cart
sense.
to the.
Okay, so it's a little bit longer of a trip, but you all see as you pass over this kind of main highway that you're close. The squeaky wheels cut through ice and snow because the latter half of this was not cut by the warm flame of Mason. And as the sun begins to set, the day gets colder. And eventually you do pull into a ratty rail station. But in fact, there are a couple of Diamond City security guards here, and they actually very clearly do have transport. They have converted part of this rail station, like where you pull in the upper portion of it, into like sections for Brahmin, as if it's like a ranch, or they care for it like a livestock holding, because that's what they use to transport everything back and forth. And when you all pull in, they look very surprised. In fact, they probably pull guns thinking it's a security risk, as we hear the squeaking wheels like eek, 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 up to the kind of docking area. And at this point, the track ends due to damage. It doesn't continue, and it's kind of, they've put barriers up, like a junk barrier, to stop in case of the train barreled through. But as you pull up, they look shocked, and one of the Diamond City security officers says, "Identify yourselves!"
We're here on behalf of the mayor. Look, food.
He kind of looks, he says, to transport to Diamond City. I don't know why I sound like a radio announcer. Why? Where did you get such things? Tell me! He
I'll also
kind
talk
of
because my charisma is my dump stat.
the train. Like he's like strikes his gun and says, "Tell me."
yeah, he kind of, it was like, it was just really not that threatening with his voice. And he looks at a guy who has a kind of large radio box. It's what we would consider like a military radio or something that would go in the field, a field radio. And he kind of tunes in and says, "Diamond City, please come in, Diamond City. This is train station Alpha." And there's a moment of pause, and something comes back and says, "This is Diamond City. Go for Alpha." And he kind of reports back and he says, we have 5 strangers, he doesn't know what else to call you here, who are delivering food on behalf of the city. Over. And then he confirms, and they kind of go through the process, and you all hear it, and he hears it, and the guns begin to lower.
Thank you. We are here, and this bountiful blessing is from Adam himself.
He says, no, we should be thanking you.
Yes, well, it was not an easy journey.
He says, men and women and everyone else begin ghouls included, begin unloading. And you watch as they kind of unhitch Brahmin from these stalls, and they bring them over and they connect these, well, in the snow, they've converted them almost to like sleds in a way, like they, something that sits on top of the snow. They're no longer wheels. You can actually see the stack of wheels that they've pulled off over to the left or to the right. And, they begin loading these up to carry them back into the city.
Yeah, feels good to do a good deed.
Says the man who killed a guy an hour ago.
Compartmentalize.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Classic Grant. Out of sight, out of mind. This is why Mason likes you.
Should we go see the mayor then?
God, you confuse me. Yeah, sure. Whatever you want.
No problem. Goods are loaded up. In fact, this cart goes easily on 2 Brahmin at ease, and there's space on the back for y'all to kind of hang off if you need to and ride. And it passes through a pretty tough area of the Commonwealth. It's still cityscape, but as you pass through, you can hear super mutants in towers off to the right blowing things up, and raiders fighting and scavenging, and it's very clear they have cleared a distinctive path by pushing all the cars and junk to the side to make kind of a natural barrier path straight there. Definitely still not safe. There's no caging or real security, but it definitely makes it more difficult to be seen and to be attacked. And it's a pretty straight path. Nobody says much on the way. Do y'all say anything on the way?
Grant is not. No.
And then for us
He keeps
as well.
quiet right now.
Yes.
So awkward. It's probably a very awkward ride.
Yes.
I think the only reason that he's kept the mask on is because he's certain that as Mason, he's going to say something stupid loudly.
Oh, yes, I see. You're just trying to, yes, very smart of Savoy to take control at the moment. But Mortimer, one of the other Diamond City security officers kind of leans over this woman and she says, is it true? The raiders blew up the train tracks.
Yeah, it's true. They're busted.
Damn. Those were the last working train tracks in the Commonwealth. Raiders?
Yeah, we didn't find him. We didn't see sign of him, but so they blew it up, took the food, and left.
It's pretty much like raiders. Sounds like she's got some personal history with raiders. Everybody in the Commonwealth has a story. But hers might involve some pretty traumatic history with raiders. Maybe why she chose to be Diamond City security.
Might be some that have a particular vendetta against you guys. I mean, by blowing up the tracks, there's not going to be any more trains for them to raid.
As well, I wouldn't dare attempt to find logic in the action of raiders, but we know that everybody is starving. The question is, how did they hear about the train?
Someone on the inside? Maybe.
She kind of sighs, not definitely above her pay grade. She does not have the answer to that and wouldn't even try. And she says, is anybody else there? Were all the supplies gone?
There was still some left.
Really? And nobody had come through to scavenge it?
There were a few scavengers.
Oh, okay.
Just seemed like opportunists.
You took care of them, right? Killed them? The scavengers?
They're gone.
Oh, okay. She'll take that as a yes, you killed them. It's confirmation, all the confirmation she needed. She says, good. And no one else? It's such a surprise. Maybe word hasn't gotten out that the train...
I will lean in and be like, there is one way that someone might have got wind.
Oh?
we found signs of a child of Atom on board.
Signs? She kind of whispers, you mean they were dead?
Yeah, I think they ended up getting caught up in the crossfire, but weird that there was one out there at all.
I do remember someone saying that we picked one up along the way. One must have died when the raiders attacked. She kind of agrees, like that would be the confirmation. She says, so you think someone from the children of Adam shared with the raiders where the train would be?
Maybe I'm just biased, but seems like that kind of thing.
She looks to make sure Sister Delilah can't hear, and she says, why would they do that?
I don't know, but just keep an eye out. Seems like they've been making political moves recently.
Yes, the city is astir.
So watch your back.
Ah, and you can see it. She looks up. The great green gates of Diamond City, that beautiful green jewel, safety. And as you pull up, you can see the people are excited. The good Samaritans of Diamond City have returned with what they promised. And people are clapping and cheering. Some of the children of Adam have come out and they are thanking you, Delilah. By throwing radioactive plants, like leaves and ferns and things at you. And as you scroll in, the security officers kind of pull up and they begin the process of unloading. And you hear someone at the back of the crowd go, hey, those supplies are for us. And one of the security officers goes, we will distribute supplies amongst all the civilians. The mayor and the Church of Adam have promised an equal distribution of all goods coming into the city.
I don't say shit. I'm waiting to see if Delilah's going to say something. I'm curious. She looks like she's fighting internally right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, Tracy's having a full moment on screen.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, this was not, was that, wait, who is saying that?
Somebody from the back of the like general crowd of people in the shanty town, remember, out front, that's kind of popping up, because they're the starving people out front. So somebody feels just a random voice popped up and somebody goes, yeah, that's our food.
I thought this food was for all of us. For us here. This was a gift.
You can make a speech charisma check, Delilah, to see if you calm the crowd as you kind of speak out. And people are murmuring like under you, but not over you in the crowd.
She says it kind of confused at first, but then she gains a little more confidence.
Well, people respect you after what happened last night, and you've returned with what you promised. So when you speak, people do listen, we'll say. If you stand up and make yourself known. Hey, one success. Somebody from the back of the crowd goes, yeah, but everybody inside already got food. We're starving.
It will be rationed and distributed, but this food was, well, I guess we did technically get it for
all of them.
For all of them.
It's a little muddy right now. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So she will say it will be distributed amongst everybody. This is, of course, as the tides are changing within Diamond City and we are all coming to know the light, we will make sure that everybody is fed. So do not worry.
The children of Adam in the crowd goes, yes, praise Adam's glow. He will feed us all. Not everybody out here is as convinced as everybody inside, but a couple of the children of Adam out here do support you. And a couple people nod along because that's what the big crowd's doing. So they are the sheep. So the sheep go with it. And a couple people still don't seem convinced of the matter. But while you've been calming the crowds, you can see they've dropped down these large airline cables with hooks on the end to snatch up the ends of the food crates. They detach them from the Brahmin, and these lifts begin lifting these 2 crates of food up and what will be over the barrier into Diamond City. And that upsets a few people.
Do not worry. We will make sure that everybody is fed. We just have to do this in an orderly fashion.
Some people give you the middle finger. Some people go back to cooking the rad roach that they had to catch on their own the night before. The second time around, some of the children of Adam, of course, agree with you, and they walk you in behind you, Sister Delilah, with your crew as you take the elevators up and over. And you do not have to fret because the mayor is waiting on you. He's kind of coming bustling down the stairs.
Before we head in, am I able to find my way to the group I'm responsible for?
Yeah.
Be like, well, good news. I didn't die. We've got the food, and soon they'll be opening the gates.
Oh, he kind of grabs your hand in great thanks, really, and appreciation. He says, "Thank you so much." He says, "We are going to get to go inside, right?"
As far as I know, that's the plan. You might have to say some nice words about Atom, but you don't have to believe it. You just need to seem like you do.
Right. Right. He debates that.
I recommend you stay here till you're healthy, and then you find somewhere else, because this...
He says, somewhere else? There is nowhere else. Where are we supposed to go?
If it works for you, it works for you, but I think I'm going to find somewhere else to be sooner rather than later. But anyway, and I'm going to reach into my coat, and I definitely stole some food while we were loading. I'm sure everyone did. And I will hand something to them to, so that everyone can at least have a couple bites to eat each, in case it takes a while before you get in.
And he kind of quickly hides it into his jacket. He says, "Thank you. Truly are a good Samaritan." And he kind of claps you on the shoulder in a very platonic, friendly way, and immediately takes this to a safe location so he can begin maybe making something for dinner. And he does. He begins making something over a kettle, like a little kettle, and he's putting what vegetables and things that you managed to acquire in your pockets into all one pot. And he says, yeah, go ahead. No. I was just going to say, all he does is he begins to stir all of this shit in one pot together. And he says, I love the smell of pew stew. And he just goes back to...
I wouldn't go as far as to say good Samaritan. In the end, you did pay me, but a deal's a deal.
He says, I paid you to get us here. It was your goodwill that gave us this food and all the food that's going to feed everyone tonight. That I didn't pay you for. And he goes, would you like to taste it? It's a recipe I had received a while back. It came from a church nearby. He says, the church. We could go there. And
the water's not from the city, right?
Well, it was the last of the water we brought with us.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. I'll try some.
You sip this. It is common, okay? It is basic as hell. It is basically no broth, water, whatever you gave him. Meat, vegetables, all tossed in, beans, into a boiling pot, and attempts to make some version of a soup. And he says, delicious, right?
Absolutely.
He's appreciative of it. He says, yes, the recipe came from the church. We'll go to the church. And he's kind of muttering to himself now, making a new plan for his caravan of people. As he begins thinking. Yeah.
As Delilah finishes saying what she's saying, the cop prevents the crowd at least from assaulting us. All Grant would say would be like, confident words, calming a crowd, walking away with, having some results. Sounds like a chosen of Adam to me.
Delilah, she takes a moment. I don't know. Perhaps
you don't have to know.
Yes. I think you are right. You never know when there could be a false prophet.
Grant just nods along. You got it, right? You got it.
Now, do you all follow the food in?
Yep.
Yeah, I want basically all I want to do, I follow it in, but all he wants to do is whenever we come across the Children of Adam people, just basically couldn't have done it without Sister Delilah. She fucking carried the team. Morale, the heart of the party. And then just leave it at that.
Yes, Sister Delilah. And a lot of the core dedicated followers of the Children of Adam who were in the church this morning actually greet you, kind of come running from around one of the bases to the front area of Diamond City to greet all of you, along with a few other people in town, just average everyday folk. Let me see. I should have. Yeah, this one. This image here gives you a little bit. This is kind of where y'all are walking in at. And they all kind of come running up. They don't block your path. This is not like a paparazzi situation. This is more of like, this is really, they make an aisle for you to walk down. They are basking in your success. You are the good Samaritans walking through town. And at the end of the row is the mayor, and he has a big smile on his face as he sees the 2 crane sleds of food being lowered down to be unloaded.
I
I don't get involved.
suppose we head over.
He looks to Mortimer. He says, success, how much did you bring back? What was the state of the train? Did you find any raiders? You killed them all, right?
This is what we found. The raiders that took out the train were already gone. We thought it was best to get the food back.
He kind of looks at the he says, this is all that's come back.
There's more on the train. You'll have to send out some teams to recover it. We could
He
only take
immediately
what we fit on a
snaps
handcart.
at one of the security guards and he says, send them back down the train. However they got there, go back. And he says, be careful, they didn't kill the raiders. The security scatters to go back to claim more food.
Okay.
There's probably a raider camp somewhere nearby where they have, enough food to feed themselves for months.
He says, I have no interest in the raiders, just collecting as much food as humanly possible. Did you find anything else? Anything? He said, the train, is it bad?
Tracks are busted.
Damn.
Train's completely derailed.
He says, follow me. I owe you what I owe you. And Diamond City Security begins unloading the food. They carry it through town under heavy gun security to the far left corner of what we would consider the central area of town. In fact, I bet you, because past dot has current dot's back, that I do.
I love when that happens.
Yep, I do. I have this map. So this is the center of Diamond City. This is where y'all are entering and kind of where you're walking path. And they begin carrying the food to this far left corner over here into what looks to be an empty storage facility of some kind. Mortimer out front sits a piece of, I hate to call it machinery, it's really a rack, a specialized rack, and probably only you would really know what that rack is for. It is a power suit armor rack. It's empty. It has no power suit armor in it, but it sits just out front of this door as if somebody came with power armor, they could fix it, rig it up, and do maintenance on it, recharge it, whatever they need to do, but it's a power armor station.
Okay.
But they're loading all this food into a secure storehouse. Yeah.
I would just quickly, I know maybe the mayor hasn't seen all of the supply that we brought back, but I would just ask him, do you have any, just taking a quick assessment of this, do you have an idea of how many people in the city it would feed and how long, all of these new people
he says,
outside?
Until I take a full inventory, I'm not entirely sure, but let's talk about something very cool in Fallout Winter of Adam, which is another mechanic called settlement reputation. I'll take y'all to a brand new sheet. Hot damn. Every time you come in contact with a settlement, you will set... you will
their own little settlements.
We will add more settlements to the sheet. For now, you've only come in contact with Diamond City. And Diamond City, right now, because of the food supply you brought in, they have just enough food. There's no excess. It will be distributed very slimly out to everyone. When they get back with more food supplies, that might change. You did complete the mission, and you all have a good reputation in Diamond City. So this would have been a 4. But because you have influenced the children of Adam to take over the city, your reputation still isn't very high. So it actually will not go up. It will stay a reputation 3, which is still good, right? Reputation rank 3 means you can probably come and go as you please. But you have caused some conflict. You're still not in terribly great standing. But all of this is pretty accurate, right? Their defenses are strong. Their food supply right now is just enough. But the Didison outlook right now is somewhat grim on the grand scheme of things, because there's a lot upheaval in like 24 hours. And as the mayor invites you all into his office, he pays you the 150 caps you are deserved and promised in a nice bag. He hands it straight over to you, 0 questions. And he says, I know that I promised citizenship to all of you inside of Diamond City. But I would like to make a counteroffer to ensure that my mayoral platform remains standing. And you can tell he's like, he regrets that he has to do this. And he says, I will allow you to come and go as you please. The gates of Diamond City are always open to you, but you cannot hold permanent residence. And he looks right at Grant.
This is a counteroffer, or are you just removing a reward?
No, I do. And he slides a piece of paper that he's like sealed in wax with what is maybe his stamp or the city's stamp on it. And he says, that is a letter to the mayor of Goodneighbor to assure that you gain entry regardless of their current census lockdown. He says, I imagine you will feel more comfortable there. He says with really grated teeth.
I kind of like look at it. I give it kind of a slightly like disapproving nod, but accepting. And it's like, all right, fine. I reach forward. I just snatch it from his hands.
And he kind of like, okay, he still taken aback, but he gets it. He came back on part of his deal, but he can't break, like his entire platform was about clearing the ghouls out of Diamond City. He can't give you residence, even though he lied to you to begin with. And he says, I've added a few extra caps to help with your effort. But if you would like to help Diamond City more, and now he looks to Mortimer and Sister Delilah, assure that food can continue to come into the city. I have secured identified a sewer line that runs from a point that we can move food underground almost directly into Diamond City. The problem is there are some problems in the sewers that would need to be cleared.
I see. Well, for me, as long as there are children of Adam that stay in the city, I know many are planning on leaving to go on a pilgrimage, though I think some may stay in the city. I would be willing to help and support the continued growth of Adam's Glow here in the city.
Oh, yes. What do you say? Praise Adam's Glow. He says with little to no true meaning.
Precisely. So, the rescindance of permanent residence, I don't think affects many of us, if I may speak on behalf of our group, as many of us weren't planning on staying for long.
Well, I understand if you don't want to do any more for us, but it would assure that Diamond City is not without food the rest of the winter. Unfortunately, the Minutemen have secured potentially a new supply line of food, and we need a way to move it since the train is no longer working. But I completely understand if you have other things to do. Access to Goodneighbor sounds fun.
You can stop pretending. It's really annoying.
How far away is Goodneighbor?
Not far at all. It's like a 20-minute walk. It's literally the city that popped up in the wake of the ghouls being kicked out of Diamond City. It was built just around the corner just to piss off Diamond City.
Are there... What is the next nearest settlement outside of Goodneighbor and Diamond City?
That's a great question. You don't... Mason probably wouldn't know. Above table, I can tell you a couple. Some of them are currently not identified. There's a roaming settlement, right? You've heard about it. That was the one we heard about last time, this casino, the Mirage. You've heard a few times now. Did y'all hear about Meckminster Abbey last time? Oh, okay. Well, Mortimer would at least know that the people out front, the rest of the caravan, know of another location, a church of some kind. He didn't say if it was a Children of Adam church. He just said a church. They are not necessarily followers. If they were going to be converted, Sister Delilah would have done it already. She was in their community long before they took this journey, which tells you that it's probably not a Church of Adam church, but they know of another location, Mortimer. The next nearest settlement is Good Neighbor. Let's see. Mortimer.
Mostly just like distance, not like the locations themselves don't matter as much. Just how like 3 days, 5 days, by foot.
Well, you don't know the location of some of these. The on foot to the fort, the Minutemen's fort, which is out here on the point, is going to take you potentially 3 to 5 days, depending on the travel at which you travel. What you're carrying, what you encounter. There's a lot of things along the way between here and there. That's a very long journey. In fact, that's it's about half as long as it took them to where they picked you up and y'all made it to the city. I would say the rest of the settlements that you've heard of, you don't know where Big Top is. You don't know where the Mirage is. You've only heard of this church, though you have no idea about the abbey itself and where it's at. And did y'all hear about Beatsville? You did, because you heard KOOL radio, right? You heard about that.
Yeah.
And Beatsville is a hidden community. You don't know a lot about it, but it seems to be broadcasting from a radio. So it's going to have a tower nearby.
Okay.
But most of these places, because you've passed through this area quite a lot, Mason, are not going to be within a day's travel. That's why Diamond City is so important. It sits at a centralized place where there's not a lot of other stuff. That Good Neighbor is the other core settlement inside of the city proper. And you can leave the city limits in about half a day.
Then I think, given the circumstances of feeling like Grant's been shoehorned off to Good Neighbor, knowing our position within Diamond City, that it's now compromised and it's practically just a Children of Adam store over, at
propaganda.
Least until Delilah gets fed up with the ideals of shoeshine and what have you. I think Mason might recommend that we potentially start our own settlement.
With whores and culture.
Proper horticulture, yes.
Exactly.
Let me go in here. That is actually
How do you do
an
that?
option.
You just kind of go step outside and go, I own this place. This is mine.
Yeah, I mean, there are like actual mechanics. We can do above table mechanics. There is a way to set up a settlement.
In-game,
but
like,
in-game, I mean, settlements are basically where can you keep people safe, right? Settlements are supposed to be a place where you're safe from the outside world, so you have to be able to, or somewhat safe from the outside world. But it's like a Wild West town. You build it, you protect it. You gotta be standing there the longest, in essence.
I got an idea.
Somewhere defensible and start building.
The train. Live in the knocked over train. Food's already there. Pre-built, he gestures to the town. There's jet engines and shit that people live in here. Just fucking defensible. Work on it. Build a little bit of a bite. If those scavengers come back, maybe we can have them hang out, stay. Convince them to defend the place for food and board and shelter and shit away from Diamond City. God, you're a genius, Mason. You know that? And he just like looks over to him and pats you on the chrome dome.
Pass through, yes.
Not the worst idea. Let's go rail links.
We immediately have trade leverage once we have defenses there because we got that food.
Y'all are gonna go hoard the food. This turned into an evil Fallout campaign, like very quickly.
Has zero reason to like give a shit about this asshole.
Going back out to the train is gonna take you some time. Like you'll have to go out there, and you're gonna have to defend it from Diamond City. That is their goods. They are out there claiming all of that. Now, once it's empty, you can have all the train cars you want.
That makes sense. Then I think that would be the go-to. I can't imagine, like, looking at the situation when he originally tossed the idea out was to figure out a way to mix a pub/bar style food with the convenience of like a beautician's place, like getting your hair cut and stuff like that.
As you're kind of standing in and he's finishing up, like signing the paperwork, making sure you have everything you need, he says, "Oh, and of course," and he reaches over to a big button and he hits it, and as it clicks, very mechanically, you hear the gates of Diamond City open, and he says, "I will allow the people to come and go during the day. At night, we will shut the gates, and they will be allowed to build a shanty town. I'm going to provide them all that they need to begin building shelter, but the fact of the matter is we can't hold any more people in our walls full time. I'm sure you learned that there were very few hotel beds available for you last night. And he says...
Well, actually, we had the whole place to ourselves.
And he says, you know, if you can manage to get into the gates, and he, again, slides a piece of paper over now, completed and finished, to get you in the door. He says, maybe the mayor, he almost slips. He says, the mayor will sell you that stupid, horrible piece of property there, and you can start your own little commune.
What says you, Mortimer? Delilah? I see an opportunity.
Sounds good to me.
I need to pray about it.
And he says, Sister Delilah, I would suggest you at least consider visiting the sewers. I don't know much of religion, as I worship the governmental systems of Diamond City, but I would say that you may find something new in your spiritual journey.
Perhaps you are right. I found something new in my journey just to grab the food at the abandoned trains.
He says, well, as much as I'd like to have you stick around to tell me about it, I really don't. So here's your piece of paper and your caps, and I encourage you, shop away. Spend those caps here in Diamond City, buy the food you need, and I hope you find your way to the gates of Good Neighbor. Mortimer, you've been around the Commonwealth a while. You would know that the reason he got rid of the ghouls is because of his brother, who is a ghoul. And his brother is the mayor of Good Neighbor.
Nepotism.
It's a family thing.
Of course.
I keep it to myself.
Yeah,
It just
that you
adds a
because
layer of
he
amusement to this whole
almost
mess.
slipped earlier and said brother, right? And you picked up on it because that is just local politics of the Commonwealth. Like, it's well known. The ghouls got kicked out, and Mayor Hancock took up Good Neighbor as a safe haven for ghouls and anybody, not just ghouls, anybody that needs a safe place. But whatever this winter storm has done has caused him to close those gates. So,
All right.
anybody stick around? Y'all get the fuck out of his
Mason-
office.
Yeah, Mason's just going to kind
Yeah.
of follow and wait to see what Delilah and Mortimer say. I don't think Grant is opposed to the idea of, like, especially since he was like, yeah, let's go get the trains. That'd be a great spot. And honestly, like, it would be a great spot because the trains could stop and feed their people or otherwise.
Yeah, you'd have to, like I said, the food-wise, you'll have to fight off Diamond City security because they're going back to claim what's left of it. Right now that y'all brought this cart back and they have a little bit of a system, they'll do the hard work of going to get it. Y'all basically just secured the line for them.
So
Now,
is
will
your
they run into
plan-
raiders or scavengers? Probably. That's their problem.
Is the plan you're proposing here to take food from the city that we've just supplied them with to build our own little area? Is that what we're... Is that
No,
what
I
we're...
do not believe that's the case. We can simply use the downed trains, remove those off the tracks. They'll want to repair those so that they can continue moving. It'd be a great pass-through.
There's no repairing those tracks. There's no supplies to repair those tracks. Those tracks are done. They'll never be able to get that train back on. The last train of Diamond City blew up by raiders 3 nights ago.
I don't think it's realistic to get a train running, but if we set up shop where the trains broke, then we get a handcart, we can go south, we can go north.
Are we planning on taking up the mayor's suggestion of going to the sewers to get more food?
Well, we'll need caps to continue our capitalist regime, if that is the endeavor that we wish to
You
find.
have 150 amongst you, plus the payment to Mortimer, which was also 150. But Mortimer,
quite a
that's
bit.
on you if you want to share that. You have a...
All great cities and settlements are founded on more than just sweat equity. We'll need significantly more caps.
We could swing by Good Neighbor, see what the deal is there, and I mean, we can set up shop at the tracks and then do odd jobs for Diamond City and the Minutemen.
And anyone else who needs assistance. Caps are calling.
If there's anything I remember from the old world, capitalism never fails.
Yep. Capitalism. Capitalism never changes. And in this case, it sure doesn't. And you can see people rush in to spend what little caps they have to try to bargain for food. To try to start supplying the shops and stores. Maybe they add flavor to the noodles. I don't know. But people are there's real commerce happening, and the people outside the city finally get to come in. And Mortimer, on your way out, you see the old man, and he thanks you once more, and he says, I knew it. I knew it. When I asked the
Here's the
Minutemen
deal.
who could help us, and they told me you, I just had a good feeling about it. And he says, whatever you do, don't let the wasteland change you.
Too late.
He laughs as if that's a joke
Just like,
from you.
I just like.
Even though you know that it's not a joke, and you've seen some pretty horrible things, but it gives him hope to know that there's somebody out there like you trying to do good in the world, like all of you, because they believe you are good Samaritans. They don't know the in-betweens of that. And at night, the gates will close, but people begin, the security officers begin handing out supplies to build shanty towns, extra tin and wood, and you can hear the sound of construction, hand construction, as you walk off just a little north of Diamond City. And it's not hard to find Good Neighbor, because there are graffiti and painted signs everywhere, pointing you that direction, specifically from the path of Diamond City. The arrows are meant to lead people away and to something. And as you come up on the gates of Good Neighbor, let's see what I can find for you here in Good Neighbor. I had a picture, I thought. The gates are closed, and these are junk gates. These are not as secure in certain ways as the ones in Diamond City. It's not built in a concrete area. And what you walk up on are actually the gates here. It's just a bunch of junk that has been stapled and nailed together. Chain link fence, tires, trash can lids, all kinds of stuff. And there is a ghoul leaned out front of the gate. He looks like he's been on shift. He's freezing because he's wearing a 1920s pinstriped suit, and he holds a Tommy gun in his hand and a fedora on top of his very bald head. And he does like lean up off the wall when you walk past, but he doesn't like point the gun at you. He doesn't seem really fucking interested. Yeah, he's just kind of posted out there, and he sees you all kind of round this corner, which is basically how you come in towards the gate. And he says, we're closed for business.
I got a little special permission slip just from mom and dad. And I pull out like the piece of paper that the mayor gave me.
He kind of walks over and snatches it from you. The cigarette shifts edges of his mouth, and he rips the wax free and looks over and reads it. And then when you see his eyes get to the bottom, and when they get to the bottom and they read the signature, his eyebrows, what's left of them, lift. This ghoul, and he says, he pockets it. He takes a cigarette out of his mouth for the first time, throws the Tommy gun on his shoulder. He goes, wait right here, because just wait right here. And he kind of bangs on the gate, and a small door that you didn't even know was there, like hidden, opens up. It creaks open, and he slips through, and you see a second ghoul dressed in pinstriped suit, very similar, close it behind you, and there's like a large, heavy latch that goes. And 5 or 10 minutes will pass. Do y'all want to say anything or do anything before he
I
returns?
look at Mason and be like, I think your alter ego would fit in rather nicely.
I'd find a time and place for it. I believe this might be the time and the place, but I should wait. Mason always makes the best first appearances.
I really just want to shove the mask on to see what happens.
Don't do that.
And as
What would happen?
you
It's
wait
like
up,
a forcible transformation. You like lose your mind. You fracture into 2 different people.
Mason just slowly putters back.
No,
Yeah.
where you going? Go back.
his face. And as you're out
Let's not
front,
push the 200-year-old robot with multiple personalities.
you see the gate has been littered with flyers, like little posters. The same lost hat poster that we saw, that you saw collected by Kalita last time. They're everywhere. It's like concert posters on the side of a Brooklyn brick building, like everywhere, right? As if you can't see it enough. They're frozen to the ground in certain places. It's like he tossed them in the air and they just stuck everywhere. And sure enough, the gate creaks back open, and the same some might say handsome ghoul. I guess that depends on your taste. Slithers out and he says, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the mayor wants to see you.
I just shrug and look over to the Delilah.
The male?
The mayor.
Oh.
Mayor.
Sorry, your accent is very.
What
heavy.
accent?
I suppose that's fine then.
Well, you darn tootin' it's fine. The mayor wants to see you. He says, get your asses inside. And he bangs on the door again and it creaks open. And all of you step into Good Neighbor. This is an open plaza area. In fact, there's to your left a large courtly building. It is the old state house in Boston, and it's on your left, and it is used as part of the barricade of this city. And off to the left, this is all junk, completely inaccessible. But in front of you are a couple stores. Mason. I wouldn't even know where to begin talking about how robots feel about gender and sex. But there is a very sexy robot, an Assaultron, standing behind the window of the guns. Her figure is perfectly crafted in metal, and she's like leaning on her 3 Assaultron fingers to the right, or like kind of on it. And there seems to be some kind of general type store down at the end. There's a flashing sign that says Daisy's Discounts. And all around you are these men dressed in pinstripe suits. They look like they walked straight out of the 1920s, carrying Tommy guns. It seems like maybe this is their version of security. And you get quite a lot of looks. And he goes, hey, eyes over here. We're going in this house, in the state house. Come on. And he points you to a door right here in the center.
So we will follow in.
Does Mason say anything?
Quite the interesting place.
I think there's a moment of pause. Like normally he's like, go this way, and he walks that way. But once he's like, hey, come this way, there's just a pause, and the eyes are just trained, right? They're just ocularly trained on the robot, and he probably goes,
Grant,
Oh, hey,
did you see that mechanical marvel, the way that she rattled my bolts?
I like look over, and even Grant's like, wowie, wow, what the hell?
Yeah, she was just.
I feel complicated emotions right now.
She's not bad. She's just designed that way.
Is it like, am I thinking criminal thoughts right now? I don't understand. Am I like, what's a metal version of a furry?
You see those body lines, the graceful movement, the testament to ingenuity of design. My robotic vision, I hope it's not failing.
Let me see if I can find a picture for all of you at home.
But
Just see if I can find one. I'm gonna have to do this on my browser. I don't usually show you on my browser, but here she is in all her glory. Actually, here she is in all her glory. How do I get this? Actually, let's do it this way. There she is. Look at that piece of robotic work. She is, and she has a USA stamp. She's clearly military grade. Standing at her shop. And you can hear her raspy. It's as if they designed her to sound like she smoked a pack a day for like 200 years. But sexy kind of voice, and she's twirling a piece of ammo between her 3 like things. It's like spinning, and she's just kind of humming some kind of military tune of the past to herself, bored at her job, because it's very clear that nobody is shopping. In fact, you see very few people other than the Good Neighbor security, which you don't know what they're called yet, on the streets. And you see propaganda posters up, printed on the same paper, probably with the same ink as the Lost Hat signs, that says, "A Kim a day keeps the cold away."
What a robotic enchantress.
you know, back before his shit hit the fan, it'd be a great little sitcom right there. You, Noodles Bot, and this thing. That's a romantic comedy that I would be loving to watch every week. Ever heard? It's like, man, I'm out of creative ideas for an idea for a show name right now, but there's got to be something out there.
I would watch it if Noodles was not involved.
And
But
you,
she and
well,
I,
That could be fun, though, right? You could like that one. She could like Noodles. Noodles could like you. And that is at least 5 seasons of hijinks.
And a lot of bolts.
Where did the others go, Grant? Grant, we've lost them. Where did they go?
And you see, he goes, hey, do you not have ears within stalks? Let's go. And you can see he's gesturing, he's holding the door of the state house open for you to all come in.
You first, Mason. Don't want to lose you.
He probably waves off.
Another time, my elegant automaton. Another time.
Yeah, doesn't
walks
look
in.
like she's going anywhere. And as you come into the state house, you see this place it's disheveled by time and wear like everything else in the wasteland, but this place is particularly unkept. Flyers lay about everywhere, again, as if they've been littered, some for the hats, some as a reminder for a Kim a day. And in the center of the foyer, this like centralized area you walk in, is a spiral staircase that goes up to 2nd and 3rd floor. And to the left and right seem to be some kind of housing or form of operations for what we call the neighborhood watch, which are these men in these 1920 suits with Tommy guns. And he says, up the stairs all the way to the top. He said you don't even gotta knock.
Understood. Thank you.
VIP.
He says, good luck. And there's something in his voice that tells you that you're gonna need it.
This place is much, I thought the mayor of Diamond City was a little rough, but this place is very rough and gruff. Quite different atmosphere. I wonder if they have a church here. As we're climbing the stairs.
As you're kind of going up the stairs, the far edge of the State House building, this side, has a lot of windows. Think old colonial government building, right? Window. And so you can actually see out to the other side of the street, this side, which does have a couple other buildings. You see some kind of large housing, and some place that one might consider to be a house of desire, based on like the neon sign and the way it's presented, but it's called the Memory Den. And you can kind of see that posted. And all along the streets here are where you begin to see people. And these people look emaciated, cold. They're on the streets around barely burning barrels. A lot of drugs are being used to keep away the cold. And they don't seem to move a whole lot. In fact, they just kind of stand there as if waiting for winter to pass or for them to die. It's very different than the feel of Diamond City, of its hustle and bustle. And as you get to the 3rd floor, it does in fact stand open. What would have been a double door to probably the governor's office or something is completely open. And what you see is, again, what would have been a nice office. And on a chaise lounge, a red chaise lounge, lies and lounges a ghoul. He is dressed in what some might consider cosplay, but a historical timepiece of a costume. Long coattails, it's blue with red trim. He's got the matching knickers and the shoes and boots and the whole 9 yards. He looks as if he walked out of, I don't know, a Jefferson biopic, or one might say a historical biopic of early colonial America. It's
Like, I know who this is.
pretty pristine and well kept. And there is a handwritten nameplate. He's like duct taped over whatever nameplate was on the desk, and handwritten it says Mayor Hancock. And hey, the love of my life. I love him. He's one of my favorite characters ever. He's my favorite ghoul. And he lounges on the couch, and around him are bottles and leftover Kim injectors and inhaler machines. And this man looks like he has been on a bender. And I don't mean for a few days. I mean for like weeks. And he's like laid out on the couch, and he's got a kind of pillow propped up behind his head, and he's got a dense, thick drool coming out of one side of his mouth. And his eyes are barely open as he kind of takes you all in, standing in his doorway.
Hello. I look to Grant, like the fellow ghoul.
I look
of
over-
this, like,
I'll lean in. Just pretend he's a human like everyone else.
He is very ghouled. He's been around as long, if not longer, than Grant. You can see it on his skin, and most definitely on his very extremely shiny, clear, bald head, because there is no matching hat, for those of you that know Hancock. He is missing the third piece of his perfect outfit, his actual personality piece, you might say. And he lays on the couch, bottle still in hand, and in the other hand, he holds up a piece of paper that came with the signature from the mayor of Good Neighbor. And in this raspy voice, he says, "Is this fucking for real?"
As real as the piss on my underwear.
That must be fucking real. I can smell you from here. You should bathe more. He smells
shakes his head.
awful. He smells awful. He smells like an old can of anchovies. Okay, you can smell him from here. And he kind of tosses it as his piece of paper flutters to the floor. And he says, "I guess my brother has decided to cash in on a little favor I owed him for the likes of all of you." And he kind of hiccups and he sits up and he grabs the jet from the couch next, or the table next to him, and he it comes out of porous pieces in his neck and his skull and his what's left of the nasal cavity. There's no cartilage.
Well, what is it that your brother left? And I look to the paper he just dropped on the floor.
He says, "I owe you a place in Good Neighbor." And he says, "Fuck that."
Oh.
He says, "I'm tired of letting people in my doors." This guy is wasted. You don't even know if he's going to remember this conversation tomorrow. And he says, "Fuck, what does it even matter anyways? Nobody takes me seriously anymore." And he kind of cries over into a pillow. He has like a little breaking moment.
Well,
It means I know it's not very noticeable, but everyone can see my... And he puts the pillow over his head.
And what, that fucking 8-ball of a dome you got going on?
He kind of cries raspily into the pillow.
Could bowl with that thing. Remember bowling?
He says, "I used to be respected." And he rakes all the bottles and stuff off the table in anger, and he stands up in a drunken rage, and he says, "And I meant something that tricorn hat completed my outfit. I can't... Who am I supposed to be without my hat?"
your hat.
My hat! And he points to a portrait on the wall, and you see this beautiful oil-painted portrait of a bust of him, as if it was like a colonial-style painting of like George Washington. And he's posed there, ghoul-like and all, and you can see it, that matching leather tricorn hat that clearly is part of his modus operandi.
What happened to your hat?
It was stolen.
Oh, by whom?
And he rakes the table again. "I don't know. Don't you think if I knew, I would have sent all of them after it to go find it? I just want my hat back." And you can see that like his despair has toppled him into some form of like a binger, and he's not doing a very good job of keeping this town. His depression has taken over. I feel you, Hancock.
You ever thought about my buddy Mason here? When he's wearing something, he's somebody else, and when he's not, he's somebody else. Maybe you adopt like a second persona when you're without the hat.
He has no more bottles to smash. He smashed everything in the room, and he's like, and he kind of falls to his knees and he punches the table. And as a ghoul, it doesn't hurt him at all. He punches straight through the wooden table and pulls his hand out. And he says, "I'd give anything to anyone who finds my hat.
I want your city and I'll go find it."
He looks at you like, "Yeah, right. I won't give you the city, but you can have that piece of shit hotel across the street." Or I think it was a hotel. And he points, not actually across to Hotel Rexford. He points eastwardly from where you're standing to this building here. And he says, "You know what? I can't tell you no, right?" And he kind of stomps on the paper with his boot, leaving a mark behind on it. "Since you're all welcome and Good Neighbor." He says, "You find my hat, you can have the building. I'll hand you the deed. Until then, you clean out the rad roaches, and you can stay for free. Plus, Hotel Rexford's, full up, so you're... And he finds a bottle and he smashes it. There was like
So
one under
we-
the couch or something.
Sounds like a good deal to me. We just got to find a hat.
You say hat, and he like breaks down one more time.
What? I thought that, the mayor of Diamond City was giving us passage here, and we now have half passage here, just like we did Diamond City, until we do something for somebody.
What's
All
Adam
right.
trying to tell you, Delilah? What
I
is
don't know.
What is he trying to tell you?
I am so conflicted
Mason
right now.
pulls his mask up and holds it just over the spot where it is, and he leans into Grant.
He's really losing it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
He is really losing it. He's in a depressed binger, and you see the gentleman who walked you up here. He goes, have you seen enough?
Yes.
He goes, good. Now get outside. I'm done with yous.
All right.
And as you hit the cold streets, you kind of take in what is Good Neighbor, which includes a place you didn't see, the third rail, which is actually under the courthouse or the state house building. It's built into what would have been an old train station that pulled in here or under here. Maybe a bar of some kind you don't entirely know. And you actually get to see this building. It is in a pretty disheveled state. The upper floors of this building have long since collapsed, but it seems like 2, maybe 3 floors are still standing. And you take in the Memory Den, and you can see Hotel Rexford. Out front of Hotel Rexford, I'll say you all see it, there's no hiding it, is a man. And what we might consider a homeless person. He's kind of crouched right out front with his knees pulled in. And he never moves. He doesn't blink. His face seems flush with tone and color. And he sits there almost like a gargoyle on the front stoop of Hotel Rexford, almost frozen in place.
Performance art. I don't want to interact with it.
It is kind of eerie. It's unnatural, is what I would say.
Are we sure we want to stay in this city as residents?
Grant, there are ghouls everywhere. You get some people nod at you. They're nice to you. Somebody gives you a high five just for coming in.
Man, nowhere's perfect, but this place is pretty welcoming.
As residents, no.
Wait a
As,
minute. Hang on a second.
Business owners.
Sister Delilah, isn't this like creme de la creme? You're surrounded by the chosen of Adam. Like, isn't this where you like? Shouldn't you be like lusting after these people?
You all, the residents here are certainly been touched by Adam, and that is something to be thankful for. Yes.
The ghoul that high fives Grant, he's standing kind of around a barrel of coals that's trying to really light, and they're feeding it kindling. And Delilah, you see that the kindling they're feeding it are the pamphlets from the children of Adam. They've been dropped off here, and they're feeding the fire with them.
On second thought, I don't think any of them seem to care at all about the blessings they've been given.
Well, you want your followers to freeze to death.
What
No.
if we were to find the tricorn hat and then ask for assistance in rebuilding our own settlement? He's willing to give us an entire building.
Mason, what would
Yes.
happen if I put the tricorn hat on you?
I don't know.
Ooh, that could be fun.
Why?
Because you put on a mask and you become someone else. Well,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep, sorry, me either. Yep, totally.
Oh, right, we have to find a hat. What kind of, like, we were just looking to find food for people to help them not freeze for the winter, and now we're about to find a hat?
You knew
We
what
could get a new hat.
You're just a tool for everybody else.
Sister Delilah, you feel like maybe you're getting farther and farther from your pilgrimage.
Indeed.
This old city's got to be full of old clothes shops, right? There's got to be a hat somewhere. Get one.
I'm gonna fake it.
Doesn't even have to be like. I mean, like I have a hat, and I'm like taking it off, and I like fold up the corners. I'm like, this. You could tricorn this.
Ah,
Genius, honestly.
Like when your gerbil dies. Oh, we got you.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, your gerbil.
Yeah, this is definitely the same one. You could try to fake it, but that's up to you.
I think we just find it.
Let's, I guess, ask around.
Yeah, I mean there are people.
Maybe somebody knows.
Do you want to talk to the guy out front? Do you want to of this building? Where are you going to talk to? Who do you want to talk to?
Let's ask the popsicle. He seems like he sees all. Whether he is aware of it is another
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, sure. Y'all kind of walk up. He never budges until you get within about 4 or 5 feet of him, right outside of the front of Hotel Rexford. His eyes that were looking forward dart right to make contact with all of you. His head never moves. His body doesn't move. Literally, like he's frozen in place.
Oh, fuck, Jesus. You know what? You go on ahead. I'll stay right here.
All right, I'm gonna take another step towards this guy and be like, "Hey, you, what you looking at?"
Everything.
Except us. Okay, that's good. You seen a hat thief?
In fact, I have.
Oh.
Do tell. When, where, who, how?
You can see that the snows begin to like build up around him. He's been here a while. The average person should have frozen to death because the snow is like built up almost 6, 8, 9 inches around the bottom of his waist. And you can see it perched on his shoulders the way it might build on a statue. And he never moves as his eyes dart back forward to begin taking everything in again. And he says, "The visitors. 5 nights ago. No, 7 nights ago."
What visitors?
The children of Adam.
Ah, and they took the tricorn?
Yes, 2 of them.
Hmm.
In the window, out the window, gone the next morning with their leader.
They snuck in.
They were welcomed, but not allowed to stay. Their leader, the last son of Adam, made a deal with the mayor. He needed to visit the memory den.
The last son of Atom took the hat?
No,
I look
he
over
visited.
to Delilah.
He visited the memory den for many hours. In the middle of the night, his followers snuck in the window and stole Hancock's hat, leaving the next morning with none the wiser. Nobody believes me, but nobody talks to Norm. Mason, you can make... this is an intelligence... I'll take a survival intelligence check. As I don't know how close you are and if you're listening to the conversation, but...
Sure.
But only you can make this roll.
Survival intel. So how do I functionally do that, Dot? Because survival's based off endurance.
The custom roll at the top. So there's that little blue button. Click on that. Put 2d20 and custom put in the roll.
2d20. That's what I needed to know. Survival intelligence. Thank you. Got it.
He's strange. He's very strange. And he doesn't talk like a normal... There are cues that he doesn't speak like an average person. Maybe it's the cold. Maybe it's because he's been out here so long. But really, he should have died.
He's just a regular guy?
He looks like a regular guy.
Does he look
skin.
old?
He looks kind of old and ragged, like I would say, late 40s, maybe early 50s. He has very little clothing on, just his rags. But he's kind of squatting just out front, the way you might like sit with your knees pulled in like a child. And he's just squatting there like a gargoyle, holding his legs, staring out, talking without making eye contact to Mortimer.
I think Mason would probably file that away as extremely weird and hyper unlikely.
Yeah, there's something, Mason, that just like your sensors, your programming tells you something is wrong about that. That's all I can tell you because you didn't get any more successes. But he says, then they left. Pamphlets behind. People have been burning them, praising Adam for the warmth. Though most people find that warmth in drugs.
Do you know where the children of Atom went after they stole the hat?
No. I imagine back to their home. Isn't that what all people do?
They got a whole thing right now where there's a new home they're trying to get to, so maybe the tricorn's on its way to the glowing sea right now. Or it's back at some camp somewhere
You know, the last son of Adam is probably only going to take it to its most secure place. Why he took it, you still don't know. That's all questionable.
Well, we could tell Hancock we have a decent idea where his hat's gonna be. Might get us something.
I don't think he seemed quite distraught. I don't think he's going to be pleased to know that it was taken to potentially somewhere far south for a pilgrimage. He's going to want the hat, not just where it is.
Maybe this is another sign from Adam telling you where you need to go. Every time you try to get away, it puts you back on the path.
I think it is.
I think it is.
It's starting to make
You
sense.
gotta go do your pilgrimage, get the hat, bring it back.
I think we won't be able to help this mayor until we get that hat.
And I ain't going in the glowing sea.
Not without a rad suit or a suit, you're not. That's for sure.
I can swim.
I think.
Yeah, everybody but one of you could survive the glowing sea.
I'll get in there. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I got myself a spare swim trunks I've been holding on to for 200 years.
I will say the sun is kind of going down. It's very much colder. The glow of the embers, it's getting brighter. You have been given a place to stay tonight. He told you had to clear out the rad roaches. And you know that the last son of Adam, he himself, the Messiah, visited the memory den. It seems that they came here to drop off some propaganda, and for whatever reason, steal Hancock's hat.
The son of Adam was here. Amazing. I wonder what his plans are.
He's just going with the flow of the glow.
Check out the memory den, see what happened.
We could, yes. That's a good idea. See if there are any remnants or remains from their visit.
It's still open. In fact, the memory den stays open 24/7, serving the residents of Good Neighbor. Other than the hotel itself, this is probably the most populated place. In fact, you see a little bit of a wait line in the lobby as you enter. This recreational establishment has kind of a lounge out front where these people are waiting. And the people in this lobby look like what we would consider drug fiends. They are fiending for something. Maybe it's drugs, maybe it's something else. But this place is a den of what's the word I'm looking for? Of sin. This is probably a den of sin in some way. You just don't. Yeah, exactly. Of debauchery. You just don't exactly know how because you
Wars in culture. Let's go.
Right. You don't see any scantily clad people walking around. There doesn't seem to be any kind of sex work. In fact, these people look like they're waiting in line to see something, participate in something. You're not entirely sure. But at the lobby, at the far end of the lobby, stands a beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. Probably the last red velvet dress left in the Commonwealth is on her body. And she carries a boa around her shoulders. And she greets you with a smile.
I know what you meant, but I imagine like a skeleton of a boa constrictor.
A boa. No, that though it might be within her style. She would be the person to carry a boa constrictor around her neck. Great beauty, and as she walks in, everybody looks at her as if they're waiting for her to call their name. Their turn. She's gonna call their number at the fucking DMV. And she doesn't. In fact, she greets all of you, and she says, "Welcome, newcomers, to the Memory Den. I'm Irma, the co-proprietor of this establishment."
Why is it called a memory den?
Well, because we sell memories, of course.
Oh, that's wild. How much?
His memories vary in cost and price, as well as how long you'd like to stay under.
Got a memory of someone stealing a tricorn hat?
No, I can't say that we have that. She looks a little nervous when you say that. Not that she knows something, but like, you...
I'm sure people know he's missing a tricorn hat.
There's some prodding into the politics or whatever's going on with the mayor, and that makes her a little nervous. And she says, "But I'm happy to have you wait in line with everyone else, and we'll get you sorted right away."
It turns to Delilah. You're up.
She says, "Usually..."
I walk away. She's talking. I walk away from her.
She's like, "Okay, well, usually our customers are seeking an experience of some kind, something that the Wasteland doesn't offer them."
I do not engage in these types of practices as a as a follower of a child of Adam. Unless it's something that worships the glow, I cannot partake.
Under
I
maybe
think your Messiah partook.
Actually, when you say that, her head cuts to you like you shouldn't know that. Or like that's not talked about. And she says, yes, there have been other followers of the children of Adam who have come to us in the dire times of this winter wonderland to find comfort in someone else's memory.
I see.
And she says, unfortunately, we do have a couple rules. I'm not allowed to share with you any of the memories or purchases that others make. There is a confidentiality clause. And in addition, you are welcome to leave your memory behind, but we only accept them under your complete consent. So every memory available to you in this library has been consented by another to be shared.
I just have what they had.
Who?
The people that were here before. Just have their man. I want to watch the same thing.
Who in particular? We serve many of the residents of Good Neighbor daily.
The people Mortimer talked about.
The children of Adam.
Yeah. I'm like their nephew. I would love to just be like in on it.
Well, I suspect you have already seen what they saw.
I want to see it again.
That is not a request we get often. She says, I'll be happy.
Is it probably at this point that Grant realizes what they're talking about? I was like,
yeah.
I don't know if I want to see that again.
She says, I didn't imagine you would. She is not a ghoul. She is a very well-kept human. And she says, it seems that you all have questions. Would you like to see how the operation works?
I'll actually turn to Delilah. You want to see what Adam did?
I would like to, yes.
Then watch what they watched. See what I saw firsthand.
I would be very intrigued.
She says, well, unfortunately, our most recent Children of Adam visitors, due to the confidentiality clause, I can't share those memories with you. Only the original owner, given public domain permissions, can I share. And she seems to be getting a little nervous as she walks you deeper into the space. And you hear a bunch of people in the lobby go, oh, man, like, it's my turn. And they're kind of muttering why you got to cut in line. And she's not really cutting you. She's giving you the tour. And it opens up into this beautiful mix between, like, Moulin Rouge meets science lab. And you can see these big pods to the, like, kind of lining the wall. Some of them are in private rooms. And you as a person are meant to get in and lay back. And in front of you is a screen. And they put these, you can see people in them. They put these things on your temples and it kind of connects you in. And they put a holotape in and that holotape plays a memory. And as it plays on the screen in front of you and you relive it, it embeds it into your psyche. It gives you the emotional feel of having lived that memory. And there are a lot of people right now, every one of them, these 6 pods taken, the private room seems to be taken. You can imagine what people want to see in the private room. And some people are just living a birthday party with real cake. Somebody else is living a wedding, walking down the aisle. You can see it first person. They're trying to fill their lives with meaning without actually filling it with meaning.
They would probably at this point, maybe a little out of character, would probably be like, you know what? I need some fresh air. You guys do what you need to do. And I'm going to step outside. He probably doesn't want to see this shit. He doesn't want to see all those old school, real, bringing them back 200 some odd years.
Uh-huh.
How do we obtain the rights to watch the aforementioned tapes, the recordings?
We understand that there's the agreement, but there must be some sort of...
I'm sorry. There's not. She's beginning
what she's
to
asking
sweat.
is, she wants to see the end of the world. What, all of the, or
Well,
I mean, whatever the division thing you call it, the bomb day.
Given they were my memories as well, since I am pre-bomb, shouldn't I be allowed to see them?
Well, technically, that one is in the public domain. I'm happy to show you. I'm happy to show you that memory. Though most people, well, the children of Adam seem most interested in it, but no, she says most interested in that one, and then she corrects herself. I mean, in that one specific tape of all the other tapes we have.
Yes, whatever is of public domain, I would be interested.
She says, well, you have over 400 tapes to choose from.
And is there...
I will tell y'all, you don't have to make a roll. She's hiding something about the visit of the children of Adam. She just hasn't she has no reason to tell you. She is trying to keep it on the fucking DL.
Is there like a shadowy part of this room? I can't imagine it's like hyper well lit, like an absolute laboratory.
Yeah, it's not. It's you can see that there's another woman, the other proprietor, is walking around. She's in like a lab coat. She seems to be the scientist behind the tech. Irma seems to be the salesperson. And the other woman in the jacket is kind of walking around and checking on the patients, watching their vital signs, those kinds of things. And each of the lights are pretty solidly stationed over top of the 6 pods. And at the far end of the room looks to be some kind of elevated stage almost. I won't call it a stage, but an elevated space. And on it is this beautiful sitting area with like a red chaise and pillows and what we might consider a makeshift like hookah or smoking device. Is very clearly where Irma lounges to watch.
Sure.
Yeah, that's her lounge spot.
Okay.
Look, Irma, your name was. I am a fellow child of Adam, and I'm trying to seek where they went and what the things that they did here.
I know nothing of that.
It's quite all right. You do not have to feel afraid. We are all have the same.
That's what he said.
We have the same directive and objective. And I show my my little holy symbol that I have.
She
on
doesn't
my-
know really
Yeah.
what that is. And she kind of
yeah.
squints and she says, "Look, I don't want any trouble. All of our customers are treated equally. We never let anybody see any of the tapes that are not in the public domain, and I don't think you should be asking."
At this point, Mason dons the mask and he sneaks out to find Grant.
Oh, I'm not far. I'm probably just like right outside, leaning against a building, just like waiting patiently.
While you're out there for just a second, Grant, you can see that there are quite a few of these security walking around, these guys in these pinstripe suits. What did he call them? He called them the neighborhood watch. And they seem to all be in conversation with each other. Specifically, there's a lot of them out front of these 2 warehouses. Here and here, which is kind of across in that path, so you can kind of see them coming and going. But more importantly, they're all in deep conversation. It seems like they're not always in agreement. There's a little bit of like, well, that's not true. Get back to your job, kind of poking and prodding. No real fight, but there's some tension. That's where I'm looking for.
Sure,
there's some
sure.
tension amongst the security about things going on in Good Neighbor. And
I think Grant would eavesdrop, but he definitely would not get involved since they all have Tommy guns.
The only you don't want to get involved. The only thing that you really are able to pick up is you hear one of them saying, "Dude, we're almost out of food. All we have is Kim's." And he's kind of like, "Shut your mouth. Nobody, shut up." As if he doesn't want anybody to hear it. Another guy, he says, "Well, it's a good thing all we've got is Kim since Hancock has started running that secret, Kim thing." And he's like, slaps him like, "Shut the fuck up, man. You're telling all of our secrets." And you can see that some new things have had to take place since the winter that have maybe put them in like mobstery type territory where they're kind of illegally selling chems, and the people here are starving. And he says, "You're going to give away where the secret stash is." And the other guy goes, "You just told everybody we got a secret stash of chems, man." And they're kind of all like, they're just making it worse. It's like escalating. And just about that time, Mason rolls out of the door. You hear his jet before you see him.
I whip around.
Grant.
Oh, God. Hello. Why is the mask on?
I think I've picked up on something. Something that you should probably know about.
I think I did too, actually. Again, why the mask? Oh, to whisper.
To
Right.
whisper, this is correct. The Savoy knows the means and the ways to obscure the truth.
Can you,
Hide
like,
it from those?
do like a mental transfer of that to Mason?
Who's Mason?
Okay, what do you need to tell me?
Perfect. Listen, the children of Adam. There's a pilgrimage, yes?
Seems
We've
like
heard
it.
about it the last 2 to 3 weeks. And this last son of Adam, he has come here to witness something pre-bombing, and now he's on a pilgrimage. What do you take a pilgrimage for?
Enlightenment?
Enlightenment. And what would a cult leader do for enlightenment?
Usually just fuck a bunch of people.
Or to, yes, actually to propagate his flock. How would you grow your flock in a short time if you are a cultist leader to radiation?
Radiate a bunch of people.
How would you do that on such a massive scale?
Are you about to come to the conclusion that I told you earlier,
He's
where he's
going
going to
to
radiate
bomb
the
everyone.
food? He's going to bomb everyone?
You
I
say
bet
that loud enough for a couple of people to
Yeah.
like turn and look.
Dude, yeah, Grant says no subtlety.
I
What?
bet this last son of Adam, he's seeking a bomb. It's what the Master of Purloin would do if he was into that level of crime, but too much for Savoy.
That is fucking stupid. That I truly believe you're right. He's probably going to do that, which is so dumb. Just radiate the food and the water if you want to do that shit.
That's the long con. Slow play. But what do we know about failed cults? They operate too quickly, which is part of their downfall.
They always put an end date on something. Never do
That's
that.
right.
Cult 101.
As you
I
say, go ahead.
I don't know how you... Was there a class for that?
Oh no. It was just the pre-times were very weird.
And as you cut, she's showing you the wall of tapes you can choose from, Mortimer and Delilah. And she says, almost strangely and loudly, she's been very nervous since you have been questioning her. And she says, "Oh, you'd like to see the private room?" "Yes, of course." And she slots a tape out of the wall. "Yes, right this way." And she leads you into the private room. And as soon as the door closes, her demeanor changes. And she says, "He held me against my will. He threatened my life. He told me that if I did not share with him all of the memories that he would kill me. And I did. I let him have free reign. I let him take other people's memories non-consensually. I didn't mean to. I swear he was looking for something stupid, something about military bunkers and buried somewhere here in Commonwealth. He wanted every military memory I could come up with. He stayed here for hours. He held me at gunpoint."
You swear this was the last son of Adam?
"I swear, he was in his suit and everything. He the way he spoke, his voice, and he said it was necessary for the day of division. He was looking for a lost military facility."
Did he find what he wanted?
"He did leave. After
What was the
playing
last tape he watched?
this one." She holds it up, the one in her hand. "You'll have to pay me for it."
How much?
"What do you have on you?"
What do the services normally cost?
She says, "I usually price it per customer and necessity. I am running a business, of course."
50.
50 caps.
50 caps. That's all this is worth to you. You can roll
100.
a bargain. Feel like we
I
got the
say
wrong person in the
100,
room
and
to
then I'll
bargain, but
roll.
here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can roll the barter
Oh,
check.
God,
Yeah, barter.
Is this the speech?
It
Oh,
is a
that's
speech
barter.
barter check.
No,
yeah.
that's just as bad.
Charisma
Oh, God,
barter,
no.
yeah. You say 50, let's see yeah, go ahead. Give it a whirl. If you get one success, I will let Sister Delilah roll to assist you.
Shall I? How much AP we
Yes.
got right now?
The answer is yes.
We have 2. You're sitting on 2.
Okay, I'll spend one then.
Okay, so you have
that
one.
means I'll be rolling 3 dice, and my target is 4.
Oh my god. That look on Bub's face. Yep.
Charisma is my dump stat, and I have no barter.
Hey.
Who successes? Because I rolled a
Oh,
nat
success!
1.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm giving it to you. And you just rolled a complication. But you can see her hand like shaking with the holotape. And when the silence settles and she says, "Is that all you've got? Is that all it means to you?" She believes that that is all you have because you don't respond with anything else. And she says, "Fine, give it to me."
I give her 50 caps.
She takes it and pockets it into whatever like beautiful bag she carries for money and things, and she hands you the holotape. And she goes over to a drawer in this room. Somebody is literally in the machine to your right. None the wiser that y'all are there, right? Because they're plugged in. And she digs through a drawer in a side table that has some holotapes in it, and she pulls one out and scribbles something with like a pen or marker on the side to make it look identical. And she goes to slot it back into the wall. And as she opens the door, she says, "I hope you enjoyed your private tour of our private space. As you can see, it's very secure," and kind of goes right back into her pitch as she walks you out. And she says, "So if you'd like, please join the rest of the wait line in the lobby as I return this, and we will get to you shortly. You can take a number if you'd like." And she goes over to the wall and slots it into the empty spot so that nothing looks like it's missing.
I look to Mortimer and I just say, this is wrong. This is all wrong. Whatever. It hurts to even say this, that there could be somebody pretending to be a false prophet, pretending to speak of this day of division, threatening, harming, hurting people. That is not Adam's way. This last son of Adam, they could be a heretic.
Dun,
Surprise
dun,
me.
dun. And as you exit, you
kill
see
them.
Grant and Mason kind of chatting. He's got his Savoy on, so you know he's in a whisper. You can't hear him. And they're just out front of Hotel Rexford. And I imagine you hide the tape very quickly. How are you going to watch it? You do not have your Pit Boy.
Crap.
Gotta find one, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a junk store in town. There's a couple, you could go over to Daisy's. Daisy's discounts.
All we gotta do is rent one for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that'll cost us probably another 50 caps. Yeah, maybe we head over and take a watch.
When you get there, Daisy is an unenthused ghoul. She does not like this job. She does not like her life. She's jaded to the world. And she does, in fact, have two options for you, which is an audio-only option. And she does have a Pip-Boy in the back. She says, "But it's broken." And she brings it out, and you can see that it is broken. The screen's a little cracked, and a couple things are clearly kind of popped off. It needs some work.
Is it?
Could I repair that?
You sure could try.
I'd like to try.
Yeah, she says, "Yeah, I'll give it to you for 50 caps if he can fix it. 75 if he doesn't." It's
can I
like
barter it?
gambling. You want to gamble her down?
I want to haggle her down. It's busted.
Yeah, absolutely. She's trying to. Oh, she's definitely. Yeah, go ahead and roll a barter check and tell me what you say.
Yeah. Okay, so barter's not my strong suit. Charisma much better. So
Grant is welcome to make it. If Grant, you want to help them achieve it, you
Sure.
can make the barter check. What do you say to her to try to talk her down off the price? Because she's basically saying, if he fixes it, it's a gamble. She'll give it to you for 50 caps. If he doesn't, you can still take it broken for 75.
Oh God! What is Mason saying when he goes up? I'd probably come in after watching Mason probably fail at
Yeah.
attempting to persuade them.
Savoy's probably just like,
This is busted. It's absolutely broken.
Yes, I
There's
said
nothing
that.
I can do with this. I could attempt to fix it. I'd have to have the tools and the replacement parts. Do you have those as well, or do you wish to negotiate further?
I didn't say it was a negotiation. 50 caps if you fix it, 75 if you don't.
That's just not fair. And I kind of like him up behind Savoy. It's broken. Listen, I understand. You're running a business. This
I
is
am.
all very important. Yep, absolutely. But you know what else is broken? He looks around. My heart. Dude, half price. I take out a nice date afterward.
You're paying?
Of course I'm paying. I just got paid by the mayor himself.
She looks you up and down to see if you if she could actually fit the bill. She says, "All right, fine. You fix it, you can take it for free. He takes me on a date to the third rail and the lot, so you piss off."
I look back
Sounds
to
good.
Savoy.
I'm
If
gonna
you
try.
can get your
Now,
lady to say yes, we got a
make
double date happening.
I will give you in this case a barter. I'm gonna let you make a barter check.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fair.
To see,
I am opening. Yeah, here we go.
because she had this in like a box. It wasn't even really for sale. This is junk to her. She's just trying to upsell you on junk.
Rip.
I'll
Oh.
just use 2 luck and re-roll the 2.
Yeah, go ahead. We're almost at the end here. Why the
Yeah,
fuck
as I
not?
figured. Tuck, luck, and then none. Damn.
Hey,
That's
there
what we
you go.
needed. She looks you up and down and kind of takes you in, and she says, You're all really lucky I'm desperate. I ain't been touched since the winter rolled in.
God, me too.
Good.
Exactly.
Perfect.
I'll pick you up at 7.
Fine. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck
Hopefully.
you.
Later.
Yeah,
he's like,
and she winks and she says, and she kind of slides it across to Mason to fix. You can make the repair intelligence.
As I walk by Mason, I was like, I think I'm in love.
2 successes because you got that falls in the crit range. And you do. You all watch. I imagine like Mason turns his back to all of you, like leans over, and there's like, and it's like little tiny robot hands like doing welding and fixing, and it does. And then you hear a click of the Pip-Boy as it. Ooh. The screen is still kind of cracked, right? But you can play or watch something on it. It's just it's like a broken iPhone. You just got a crack in your screen.
Well, I don't exactly have the wrist for this, so this would probably be best on one of you.
I will take it.
And as you slip it on, it feels strange and heavy. Not a piece of tech that you're really used to. This is vault tech, old tech. And as you slot the holotape in the top, much the way we would do an old cassette, and you click it close, it begins to whirl as it plays the video, and the memory comes up on your screen. Delilah, if you share it, maybe you don't, but anybody that watches witnesses a first-person perspective of very clearly somebody in the military. They're in a military bunker. This is pre-war. Nothing looks destructed or destroyed. Everybody's in matching clean uniforms. No ghouls around, just people. And they're walking down this hallway, this bunker, very clearly. And a large, I won't want to call it a vault door, but a large round vault-like door, not an actual vault door, kind of pushes back. And as they come in, you can see that there are a lot of people in this room, and they're all crowded around something that's letting off glowing light. And all of these kind of mixture of military and maybe corporate military people are all kind of standing around. And you can see this person's trying to get a clear view of what it is around these heads. And in this room are labels of the bunker, like, number. In this case, like the military bunker number would be labeled on the inside. And you can see, like, looks up and kind of takes it in. And just as he would be able to see what it is, the holotape, like,
That's all? I thought there would be more.
We gotta find that bunker.
Yes, we do. We have to find it.
the snow begins setting for the night. It's the wind picks up. And I imagine there's a date had at the third rail, which we don't get all the details of, but beautiful velvet music plays from a woman on the stage in a red sparkly dress. You're served drinks by a Cockney, posh, Mr. Handy unit, who wears a bow tie. The rest of you, I imagine, do you take to Neon Flats? Are you going to try to find shelter for the evening? And just as we started, we hear the scutter of insect legs, radroach legs, on cold concrete, iced concrete, in a dark space. A foot to door kicks open, and we see the silhouette of Mortimer there with the rest of you kind of in silhouette behind him as the radroaches scurry for the shadows, and you open up the door to Neon Flats. In your possession is a memory that the last son of Adam sought. In your possession is information about a missing hat, a ghoul circus, but most importantly, that the last son of Adam is planning something, slowly poisoning each of the settlements here in the Commonwealth. That has become obvious, but not poisoning them the same way. Over in Diamond City, tonight is another celebration of the last son of Adam. People bask in radioactive glow, and the city once again becomes a holy site for this pilgrimage. Good Neighbor falls quiet and cold, except for the sounds of inhalers in the night to get people through with jet. And we leave all of you standing there in the doorway of potentially your new safe haven, I hate to call it, waiting to see what and how your individual pilgrimage take you the next time we see you, because that is all we actually have time for. Everybody, it's over. It's done. We got to stop here.
We have to find Adam, the last son of Adam.
Man, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him.
He's a false prophet.
He must be taken down. If
Yes,
he
this
is.
shit is ending here, Stony. It is ending here.
And we may see it again
We
in
might.
the summertime. Maybe we'll see.
We
We'll
got
see.
y'all got to tell us that you want more of it. We'll see what happens when you all return. I will riot. We'll riot away. It is the Commonwealth. But yeah, we'll leave our intrepid survivors at the door of hopefully a safe haven. But unfortunately, exactly where they started, because some things never change. Let's go around and we'll do outros. Y'all tell us who you are. This is the end of this little bit for a while. We'll be back next week with SOS, everybody. SOS returns next week. Episode 3, not next week.
Yeah.
Seeded a lot of stuff. I hope you have questions. You can bring them to the Discord.
Many.
I'll answer what I can. If you just absolutely can't handle it, you can go grab this book and spoil everything for yourself. The last one, or the Winter of Adam, is out there. This is not the core book. This is just an adventure book. You will want to grab the core guide if you want to like fully play. And if you have questions about what I've been using in for our VTT, I used Roll20. Everybody, this is a Modiphius tabletop game, and I might drop it just for funskis to the Patreon because I can't. Oh no, I'm sorry, to the Discord. But I got rid of all the roll tables and made a card decks with like hundreds of junk cards in the magazine deck. So I might just share that with all of you in case anybody wants to custom build their own. Because I got all the files. So yeah, I'll drop that in anyways. But yes, go tell everybody, the internet, I don't know, that you loved it. And if you didn't love it, you can go tell your fucking enemies because it's it's fucking Fallout. So go tell your enemies about it. Let's start. We'll go backwards this time. Actually, let me transition over to this so it's easier to have direction. Let's go backwards. So Tracy, you're up first this time. We'll go bottom to top.
Hello, everybody. I am Tracy, also known as Miss Magitek, also known as MagRPG. And I do a lot of tabletop stuff here, of course. So you'll see me next Saturday for SOS. And I also do stuff on Bub's channel on Mondays. We'll be back on Monday for Shadows of the Last War, which is a Eberron Pathfinder campaign. And I also do stuff on my own channel, MagRPG, where play tabletop stuff with my friends. Actually coming back with my VTM Greater World of Darkness game that I'm running this Friday. Oh gosh.
That's right.
So I spent all yesterday prepping and preparing for what is to come. So I'm back in storyteller mode. My brain just gets like super hyper fixated on like storyteller stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And if you want to check that out, feel free to. So that's me.
Oh, that puts it to Beb is you. I'm leading this charge out. I'm sorry about that, y'all. My brain just had a moment.
It's me, I'm Bentham. You can find me on Rollfruit, which I run with Maggie, where we do all kinds of TTRPGs. We've got a show that's coming up in hopefully the next month if everything goes to plan. It's a little bit delayed, but we're finally getting all our ducks in a row. And then I also do Let's Plays and stuff like that on my own channel. I've got a Twitch. It's called Mangled Pork, don't ask why. And I play games on there. Yesterday I was playing some Dyson Sphere program, and tomorrow I'll hopefully be playing some Factorio.
Nice.
That's me.
Speaking of somebody who plays video games, Mathas.
Me. Yeah, you can find me anywhere, Mathas, twitch.tv/Mathas Games, or you can just find me at Chilluminati Pod everywhere. That's been my main thing. Go listen. And we'll be back next week. Yeah, I'll be here as well next week. I'm excited for Vampire.
As to not skip Maggie, go check out Margaret Crone. She's out there doing amazing things in the video game industry, specifically. So, boom, she's amazing. We love her. And she's going to be a mommy.
Yes.
Bub.
Hi, I'm Bub. There's a strong chance you already know what I do. Come find me on twitch.tv/BubTalks. I do a lot of stuff here, as much as I can do with PodbyNight. Trying to elope myself further into other systems and games and the companionship of friends, if I can find the time between trying to move and being ill and all that jazz. But having a lot of fun here pretending to be a robot. If you want to see more of me, again, BubTalks. I'm also on Unmade Gaming's channel where I'm pretending to be another robot as helmed by Little Red Dot yet again. Man, we've got something. There's something going on here.
I know, yeah, it's kind of weird. It's okay. Every time Bub's like, I want to play an artificial intelligence, I'm like, I'm game. Fuck it. We'll call some robots. Yeah, fuck it.
I'm the fulcrum of a plot hook, and I'm here for it. So that's me, guys.
I'm Dot.
Last but not, yeah.
Yeah, I'm Dot. You can find me online as Little Red Dot. I spend my days with Cobalt Press. I spend all the rest of my time with PodbyNight. Make sure to check out our podcast if you like what we do in SOS. If you are actually checking the show out because you're brand new to PodbyNight, because you found us via the Fallout hype, we want to thank you for being here. And if you like our form of like storytelling and kind of macabre roleplay, macabre humor of roleplay, you can absolutely join us for some even darker stuff with our VTM shows. So we have a Saturday that'll, come back in this slot, and our actual podcast that drops every Friday. So some great places to continue to, I don't know, hear us cause trauma
More
and
stories.
more
Yeah,
stories,
yeah.
more dark stories, literally pods for nighttime. Check us out, and I'll drop the Discord link again. It is absolutely free to join our Discord. People are over there talking about our shows constantly, and if you are really in love with what we do and want to go the extra mile, there's our Patreon link. We have lots of cool stuff for our Patreon supporters, and we love you, and we try to continue to give you more cool stuff for our Patreon supporters. So I think that's all, everybody. We're gonna sign off and say hopefully we'll be back soon to see what the Wasteland has for us and if this cold storm, will ever pass. But until next time, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hi, guys.